Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin. Finishing up the series are the Badgers and the Wolverines. We're split so far, each team looking to be the victor. I am Nathan Yan, alongside my color commentator Caleb Goldstein. We've got Rachel Cohen on the sideline. And Caleb, talk to me about what we have leading up in this series.
Yeah, Wisconsin picked up their first win versus Michigan in their last 14 matchups against one another yesterday, backed by a season-high 14 hits. Hillary Blomberg stayed hot for the Badgers, getting the scoring started with a 2-run home run in the first inning. She then followed that up with an RBI single in the second to make it 3-0 Wisconsin. The bleeding in the second did not stop there. Kendra Lewis walk and Olivia Bark RBI made it 5-0 Badgers in the fourth. Michigan was able to get across 3 runs in the sixth, but Kendra Lewis came in and shut it down for the Badgers, leading to a 6-3 victory and tying the series up at 1 apiece.
A big game and a big win for the Badgers to even this series, but Michigan certainly looking to claim their 4th or 5th consecutive Big Ten Series victory. They started out conference play 0-6, and Ella Stevenson's been big for them so far in this series. She had a 3-run home run in the first game, and then 2 RBIs and a double in that last one. She's certainly been an important piece in their offense, hitting third. One would expect that to happen again today. Here's the Wisconsin defense. You've got your outfielders, Common, Foster, Lucy, and Lewis. Then you've got Conger, Crane, Whitten, and Bark in the infield. Jacobson, your starting pitcher. She's got 10 wins on the year, and Hillary Blomberg behind the dish as always. Great on defense, and obviously 14 home runs on offense. No slouch either.
Yeah, and Jacobson looking to bounce back after the 7 innings, 7 runs game in the first game of this series. Looking to lower that score total in this game to give Wisconsin a chance.
For sure, pitching's going to be a big part. Both of these teams know that they can hit. They both hit very well. And it's just really going to be about if Jacobson can control this lineup coming from Michigan here. We'll take a look at that now. Leading off is Indiana Langford. Then we move towards Putz and Stevenson. Those top 3 are lethal. 4, 5, and 6. No slouches either for Conway, Valamont, and Carr. Then rounding out the order is 3 seniors for Michigan. Maddie Erickson, Maddie Ramey, and Janelle Alakwa. What are you seeing there, Caleb?
Yeah, it's really just going to be down to that top 3 of the order. You know they are dominant. Lauren Putz, one of the best hitters in the Big Ten, in the entire nation. And after a 3-run game yesterday, they're looking to respond with some more runs in this one today.
Yeah, absolutely. This offense is fiery and can get going quickly. Shelby Jacobson going to look to contain them, and it's really about containing them early. When you've got those great leadoff hitters, you certainly need to contain them to get that 11th win on the year. But the ERA isn't bad. She's shouldered a big load for the Badgers, so more strikeouts than walks. We'll have to see what she can do here.
Yeah, and we saw in the first game Michigan attacked early against her. 3 runs in the first inning with the Stephenson home run and another run. And so Wisconsin just wants to limit the bleeding in the first few innings just to keep them with a chance.
Absolutely. Stepping up to the plate now will be Indiana Langford. She's hitting .371 on this year. Played in 35 of Michigan's games, started 31 of them, but not as many at-bats. Not for a reason you'd expect, though. She just draws so many walks that she's got less than her other 2 leadoff hitters. Jacobson ready, and we are underway. There's that little slap hit, rolls foul. 0-1 the count.
Langford a hit and a walk in yesterday's outing.
Yeah, she was productive for Michigan. They needed a lot more production from that bottom part of the order. Couldn't get it. The Badgers were dominant, but that OPS for her of .874 is certainly impressive, especially adding on to that average. That one's going to be low, 1-1 the count.
Looking to just slap it right down the third baseline. First one went foul, and second one was taken. But look for her to do that again here.
Yeah, absolutely. Bark is ready to crash in and make that play quickly. As you can see, an interesting thing. Slap hitting used to be bigger in softball. They'll run up through the box even and just try to bunt it moving, give yourself some momentum and everything. But Langford, the only one that you'll see do it consistently in this series. Jacobson, the 2-1. There's that hit. Goes to the shortstop. Conger makes the play. First out for the Badgers, a successful first batter for Jacobson. Certainly important if she wants to control this game.
Very nice play by Conger there. You expect it to go to the left side. Up the middle is a bit of a surprise, but able to adjust and make the play from the shortstop position.
Yeah, great play, but now what you don't want to see is this batter coming up, Lauren Putz. She's been almost unstoppable this year, hitting .460 coming into this game. That's pretty ridiculous. We'll have to see what Jacobson opens with here. That one's going to be high. So 1-0, she falls behind in the count early.
Yeah, I mean, it has to just be scary facing Putz every single at-bat. You know that she is dangerous.
Certainly those outfielders playing so far back as usual. The 1-0, high again. 2-0 the count for Jacobson. Look for Putz to be looking for one here since she knows Jacobson's got to get back in this count. Falling down 3-0 is not a good place to be against Lauren Putz. We'll see if she can get one to hit. High again, so we'll have to see if they even want to pitch to her. The Badgers certainly a couple times in this series have already elected to just move on. The issue with that is they know Ella Stevenson, no slouch either. She's been great this year in the on-deck circle, just waiting to get her chance. We'll see if we've got a batter on base or not. That one is a strike, so 3-1 the count.
And on top of the hitting, Putz walks at the highest rate on the team as well, 36 walks on the year. So although she is looking to crush the ball, a walk she doesn't mind as well.
Absolutely. Any way to get on base for Lauren Putz. There's a swing, and that one's going to stay fair just off of the glove of the first baseman. The Badgers will get it in, and Lauren Putz will be on second. So a runner in scoring position for Ella Stevenson after a bit of a misplay for Kylie Whidden.
Yeah, mistakes for both of these teams are going to be huge in this one. Michigan with 2 errors yesterday and Wisconsin with 2 errors in the first game. It really, you just can't have these plays, especially with these high-powered offenses.
Yeah, it's one that Whidden's certainly not going to love to look back at, but really the issue is who you've got coming up to the plate. Now you've got Lauren Putz on second, and you've got Stevenson, who, again, you just don't really want to have to pitch to, can't walk. We'll have to see what Jacobson elects to here. 314 on the year, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Fouled back, right over the head of Blomberg. We will recollect. Shelby Jacobson now 1-1. This is an important pitch in this at-bat. Again, if you keep falling behind to batters, it's not going to be a great place to be against this high-powered Michigan offense. Here's the pitch. And high and wide, so 2-1.
Yeah, and Stevenson coming into this series batting .500 over the last 10 games, ranking second to Putz, who's on second base with a .559 average over the same stretch.
That one's just going to be outside, gets away from Blomberg. Speaking of Putz, there she is taking third base. So now all you even need is a sacrifice. 3-1 the count. Stevenson's got herself in a great place here. We'll see if she's coming up swinging big, trying to move that runner in early. Fouled right back at us. That one works the count full, so we'll have to see what approach either player takes. For the Badgers, this first inning ever important. They're 9-8 when they score, but more interestingly, they're 4-8 when the other team scores in the first inning, so you don't want to get behind. They're not a team that works from behind well down early. Strike 3, so a huge strikeout for Jacobson when there's a runner on third and 1 out. The opportunity, only a sacrifice required, but instead, now a Michigan player will likely have to come up with a hit to get this run across. There's a look of that, just right underneath was Ella Stevenson. Now up to bat is Janisa Conway. Right back at Jacobson, drills her, but she stays with the play and gets the out. What a brainy play for Shelby Jacobson to stay with that play, especially when she needed to. So we stay 0-0 through the first half. You can see it gets her right in the legs. We'll be right back on Big Ten Plus.
When congestion has you feeling off, turn on new Afrin Saline, made with seawater, and feel the rush of extra strength daily relief.
Wow.
Afrin Saline. Now, the wow is real every day.
This season, we're celebrating 30 years of Wisconsin softball. Each weekend series will highlight a different decade of Badger history. And this weekend is a celebration of 2006 and 2016. Throughout today's game, enjoy historical facts, memorable highlights, and fan participation, all centered around the first decade of Wisconsin softball.
Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. Michigan and Wisconsin, two unranked opponents facing off. Now we'll get a look at that Michigan defense. Stevenson Conway puts in the outfield. Third is going to be Erickson. Carr at short, Ilakwa at second, Ramey at first, and then Ellis the pitcher. That's obviously going to be one of, if not the most important players out in this defense to see if they can control that Badger hitting lineup. And what she got with Emily Bojan. 362 on the year, you're good. 392 for Hillary Blomberg, 350 yet again. Both of these teams have a top three that is prolific. How do you think the Badgers will get this bottom six involved, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about contact and putting the ball in play. Michigan struggled a little bit to field in the game yesterday, and that's how the Badgers sort of got all of their runs, those late runs, the runs 4 and 5 were just about putting the ball in play, just those nice singles, not trying to hit too much for power in the bottom of the order, and just trying to get rallies going and get things started early.
Yeah, we got a gate open out there in right field. Looks like we've got it closed now, so we will shortly be cleared to resume play. A great job filling time. The first pitch for Ellis looks like it's going to be low. Does not get the call, so 1-0 the count to Emily Bojan.
And Gabby Ellis, just such a dominant game in game one of this series. 6.1 innings pitched, only 2 hits allowed, and 6 strikeouts.
Pitch number 2 just gets the edge of the zone, so 1-1 for Emily Bojan. You look at her stats this year, an OPS of over 1,000, 22 runs batted in, 5 home runs. You'd expect that runs batted in to be a little more, but she hits the leadoff for the Badgers often. That one's going to be high, 2-1. She draws the count to. She is one of the 6 players, I'll point them out as we get to them, for the Badgers that have started and played in all 39 games. The designated player for this one, so she doesn't even have to go out in the field. There's a foul ball giving chase. Got a play on it, and that is going to be the first out for the Michigan Wolverines. Looks like over there to snag that one was Maddie Ramey.
What a play up against the fence. That is not an easy play to make from here. It looked like it was going way foul, but it just stayed in, and great play by the first baseman there.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying with that one's difficult. You're running right towards the wall, not something either of us could likely do. So a great job to get that first out, and important now that you've got the prolific Hillary Blomberg coming up to the plate. We'll get a look at it here. Just misses the net, and there you go. Blomberg takes the first, high, so it's going to be 1-0. Yeah, it's not often you face off against 2 hitters hitting with an OPS of over 1,000 at the top of the lineup, is it?
No, it is not. And Blomberg, 2 home runs in this series already, 1 in the first game, 1 in the second, looking to continue.
That one's going to be low and away, 2-0 the count. That's a pretty hard pitch to hit if it can catch the zone. We'll have to see how home plate umpire Trina Comerford's zone ends up shaken out. Always a little bit different for each umpire. We'll have to see what team can try to take advantage. That one's going to be low, 3-0 the count. Blomberg certainly sitting in a good place now.
Yeah, and you don't want to get behind against Blomberg. Same with putts in the Michigan the Michigan batting order. You never want to get behind with these hitters just because they're so dangerous at the plate.
Here's the 3-0. That one's working the count to 3-1. Obviously, you're usually taking on 3-0, but 3-1 is the pitch now. If you get one, you can swing, and you don't want Hillary Blomberg ready to unload one because she can send it out to left, center, or right. There it is, a fly ball. Looks like the left fielder will have a play on it, and there we go, out number 2 for Michigan. So first and second, real tough hitters to retire, but Gabby Ellis stays with it. Blomberg got a lot of that one, just didn't carry, likely a little bit off of the end of the bat.
Yeah, and 3-1, such a dangerous count. Nice that they got it a little outside there, able to keep that one in the park.
Here's Lewis, takes the first one. That's a called strike. You saw it on that graphic earlier. She was 3 for 3 yesterday.
Yeah, as well as 2 innings pitched. Just an incredible game from her yesterday.
Yeah, I got the save for that one. Takes pitch number 2. That one's going to be high. Good stop behind the dish. For Michigan was going to be Lily Valamont, the junior. The 2-0. That one's high, works the count, I believe, to 2-1. So for Ellis, it's going to be important to control her pitch count. They want her in the game, especially with how successful she was against the Badgers. That one just catches.
Really attacking the outside corners here. That's 2 called strikes on the outside.
Absolutely. Here's the 2-2. Outside, the count works full, so we'll have a payoff pitch here early, the third batter of the game for Wisconsin. And for Michigan, you don't want to walk anybody as well. That was a great way for the Badgers to get on base yesterday, get those runs across the plate, which they certainly did early in that game. Here is the 3-2, just outside, so ball 4. And just like that, Kendra Lewis is on base.
Yeah, and Ellis continues to work outside to these to the lefty hitters, just attacking, and sometimes you're not going to get those calls, sometimes you are.
Yeah, righty-lefty is a good matchup. The Badgers likely took as many of the lefties out of their lineup as they possibly could. Just couldn't get that one done. Now coming up is Olivia Bark. Takes that one, so 1-0. Hitting .333 on the year with 30 runs batted in. Certainly a successful season for the junior. Takes that one, called strike, 1-1, and Lewis will return. Not someone you'd expect to see jumping around on the base path. Although she hasn't been caught stealing this year, she's only taken off once.
Bark leads the team in doubles with 10. A double here likely scores a run, so would be great for the Badgers.
Certainly takes that one, does not get the call. A bit of a hitter's count now, but again, it's that pitch count. And softball, obviously not necessarily as important. You'll see pretty crazy numbers for pitch counts, but you just don't want the pitcher to get tired, especially out on a cold day like this one. That one inside, but gets the call. 2-2 the count now. So for Olivia Bark, she'll have an important pitch or two coming up. And as you said, something out in the gaps are going to give Lewis a chance. Foul ball just down past the first base. A little late on that one. We'll have to see how she responds.
Yeah, 91 pitches for Ellis in 6 innings pitched in the first game. Like you said, just looking to limit the pitch count, not fall behind in the count. 20 already in this inning. Want to get out of it here.
Yeah, 91 in 6 innings is crazy efficient. You're not expecting too many pitchers to do that again. Here's the 2-2 for the second time. Does not get the call, so count works full again on back-to-back batters. The Badgers making Ellis work. That ERA for Gabby Ellis, 3.92 on the year, certainly impressive, especially with 22 appearances. Here is the full count. Swung on, and there it is into the gap. It will get down. Slight misplay, but the Badgers will send him home. We're going to have a play at the plate, and she is tagged out. So an interesting decision to send Kendra Lewis home. Does not pay off for the Badgers. Would have had runners at first and third, 2 outs instead. 0-0 through 1. We will be back.
In a world that feels divided, here we're building something different. We come from different places, and each one of us has a different story. But what's the same? We're all for the W. The power of us is more than a phrase. It's our philosophy. It's how we work, how we lead, and how we play. The search for common ground starts here. In reflection, conversation, and every shared experience. Every second, every minute, every day. We're unlocking the power of us.
Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. Through 1 inning, each team 1 hit, and it was this hit right here for the Badgers that was ever important. Kendra Lewis looking to move to third, center home, and instead Badgers ended with an out, and this game remained at 0-0. You talked about that throw a little bit.
Yeah, Lauren Putz with just an absolute cannon from right field. She really just does it all for this Wolverines team.
For sure, that hitting and that defense as well came up big a couple times this series. Certainly saved a run there, right on the money. Gave her catcher plenty of time to make the tag easily, and she did. Here's Jacobson. Swing and a miss from Lily Valamont. Valamont's had a mediumly successful year so far. 6 home runs and 31 runs batted in with a .277 average is good, but when you're coming off of those top 3 or top 4, especially with Janisa Conway, that .277 doesn't look quite as impressive.
Yeah, and what really stands out for Valamont is her defense. Outstanding behind the plate. A perfect 1,000% fielding on the year and throws out 75% of base stealers.
Yeah, that's a pretty high number, and it's not like she's near the Mendoza line, so not a particularly difficult decision for her behind the plate. 2-1 the count now. That one hit right towards the first base and caught for Kaylee Wooden. A great play to keep that one out of the outfield, and for the Badgers, they get the first out of the inning very successfully.
Nice confidence play for Wooden there after the slight mishap in the first inning, able to make a great defensive play there to get the first out of the inning.
Absolutely, just a bit of a tight play was in that first inning. An error was scored, but that's exactly as you said, a confidence builder. You're just looking for ways to get yourself back in this game. Now here's a hard hit to the shortstop, making the play, and Wooden makes the catch there. But Hannah Conger now 2 impressive defensive plays early.
Just a great start for Shelby Jacobson. Exactly what you want. Pitching to contact, letting your defense do the work for you, especially after that 3-run first inning that she allowed in the first game. This is also a great confidence builder for her as well.
Yeah, certainly. That one was ripped off of the bat of Kylie Carr, just unfortunately right at the shortstop, and Hannah Conger there to make the play. Here is Jacobson now. Going to see if she can go 1-2-3 early, but looking to change that is going to be Maddie Erickson. 222 average on the year, exactly 800 OPS, but those 6 home runs shows that she's got some slug. That one is high, so 2-0 the count early. Jacobson catches the corner there, 2-1 now to Erickson.
Just looking to continue to attack the zone, try to get this 1-2-3 inning would be a huge momentum builder for the Badgers.
For sure, Shelby Jacobson. That one just misses outside, so 3-1 now. And as you talked about, it's getting that momentum rolling early in the game. 1 wasn't going as well for her, and then it kind of got out of hand, had to get pulled and kind of work herself back into this one. We'll have to see if she can change that. Here, fouled right back at us again, so now the count is full.
Huge payoff pitch here. Looking to make it a very, very quick inning, quick and easy inning for the Badgers if she does convert.
The 27th of the day for Jacobson will be an ever important one. We'll have to see what her and Hillary Blomberg go with. There it is, skied high. Left and center both running for it. That one blew back in, but Danny Lucy stayed with that play, made a nice diving catch from center field. So pitch number 27 successful for Shelby Jacobson and the Badgers through 1.5 innings in Madison, Wisconsin. We are still knotted up at 0.
Are you interested in the Summit Credit Union Junior announcer during today's game? Stop by the Wisconsin table located on the concourse for your chance at announcing the Badgers lineup during the 4th inning. A special thanks to Summit Credit Union for their support of Wisconsin softball.
Zero, each team with 1 hit, and Lauren Putz making her impact felt on offense as always, but defense here as well. How about it, Caleb?
Yeah, and just an amazing throw. It says, I don't need the cutoff. I'm just going to chuck it directly at home plate, get the runner coming from third, and a bit of an unsuspected run or send from third base. The Badgers would have had first and third with 2 outs, but instead decided to take the risky decision and test that great arm of Lauren Putz, and unfortunately for them, it did not pay off.
Yeah, early in the game, I can see why not think that there would be a cutoff that would slow that throw down. Instead, they get burned by Lauren Putz. Danny Lucy coming off of her great diving catch in center field, now up to see if she can do something similar at the plate.
Saved a bit of a miscommunication in the outfield there at the end of that second inning, but just a great play by her.
Yeah, both her and Foster were running in. Now she hits it out towards right field, right over the head of Lauren Putz. She'll turn towards second, and she will comfortably start the inning with a leadoff double for the Badgers. Great contact for Danny Lucy.
Lauren Putz just missed that ball over her head. Great hit very well by Danny Lucy there.
Yeah, for Lauren Putz, that's a tough play. She did all she could, and that one went just over her glove. But as you said, Lucy hitting .333 on the year. Great contact, just flared that one right out where you want it. And now Foster hitting 6 has got a great opportunity to at least move the runner forward. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball. Yeah, 754 OPS, 275 average. We'll have to see what her kind of mindset coming into this at-bat is, if she does just want to move her forward. And there's the bunt again, takes that one for a strike.
Foster also a very patient hitter, 11 walks in just 80 at-bats. She's not afraid to take some pitches and take a walk, as well as, like we see here, maybe do a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, certainly a team play would be helpful for the Badgers. Get a runner on third. Squares again, but misses that one. So 1-2 the count. Now a lot less likely to be bunting. If that ball goes foul, she will be called out. For Ellis, we've got to see what she can do now here. She hasn't really thrown a pitch that Foster swung at quite yet, so not sure what we're looking at. That one's outside, 2-2.
It's always hard for hitters going down with 2 strikes after bunting, because you haven't really taken a real attempt at swinging this at bat, so it's just jumping right into the count, already down 1-2, now 2-2.
Yeah, for sure. Jumping around back there as well, as you'll see, is Danny Lucy, making everything as hard as possible. That one swung on, grounded towards first, bobbled a little bit, but stays with the play. And even though she's swinging, Foster, probably a similar outcome as what that bunt would have been, moves the runner to third.
That's exactly what the bunt would have been, and that is the perfect outcome for Foster. Well, maybe not the perfect outcome but it's exactly what you want. Sacrifice the runner over, get her on third base.
For sure, and now that runner is on third base for Whitten, and look at these infielders crashing in. They are not expecting a swing. We'll have to see what Whitten was told to do by her coach. Takes the
Badgers.
first one for a strike.
Badgers have 18 sac flies on the season, which is second in the Big Ten. A sac fly would be huge here to take the lead and go up 1-0.
Certainly. That one's going to be high, so 1-1. The look, if we can get it, of these infielders crashing in is pretty striking. So as well, if Kaylee Whitten doesn't bunt and gets good contact deep, we've got to see, obviously you're cutting off your angle for that crash in. So there she does square to bunt, gets it down, tries to tag but misses the tag. The Badgers will score. Danny Lucy, and now no one's playing second, trying to take advantage. A heady play by Whitten, and she's safe at second on a bunt.
What
Wow.
a bunt right down the third base line. You can see the third baseman almost tags the runner out, but just misses her, and then just heads up base running there, able to advance to second.
Absolutely, Michigan's either going to talk it over or take a look at this one, but just the brains on that play to move towards second. A great bunt, a great outcome, everything perfect there for Kaylee Whitten. She's fired up about it, which is what you would expect. I mean, that bunt again, she's told just do what you can to move the runner home. A close play just misses, but then to have the wherewithal to move to second, you see no one's covering the base, still a tight play, but now you've got a runner in scoring position with only one out again.
Yeah, and you were talking about it the whole at-bat. Michigan knew the bunt was coming, crashed all the defenders, but still unable to defend that bunt. Just so well done right down the third base line.
Yeah, now Riley Crane, not someone who's gotten a ton of playing time for the Badgers this season, hitting 154 on the year, but only 5 games started and 12 total at-bats. But interestingly enough, 12 at-bats and 10 runs for her, so she crosses the plate at a pretty efficient mark. Takes the first one outside. She looked like she was running through that one.
And again, the Michigan corner infielders just playing so far in, ready for another potential sacrifice.
And why wouldn't you? You just got a double out of it last time if you're the Badgers. The 1-0. Inside, but catches the plate, so 1-1. A big pitch there for Ellis, where now you have to ask, how do you stay in this? Because you've been making the right pitches. You've just given up that one hit to Lucy in this inning, and yet they've crossed the plate. Takes that one again, stealing third, and no one's home. Another heady base running play by the Badgers. Looks like they subbed out Kaylee Whitten on the base paths, and instead Ava Parent saw the third baseman crashing in too far again, and now you've got another sacrifice situation. 2-1 the count as well, so we'll see what Riley Crane can do here.
Just amazing heads-up base running in this inning.
Swung on into center field, but that one will likely be deep enough. They will send her. The play at the plate, not in time. Safe, Ava Parent. The Badgers take a 2-0 lead. Hannah Conger comes up to the plate.
Like we were saying, these sac flies big for the Badgers, 19 on the year now. After that one, in a 2-0 lead off only sacrifices for the Badgers, just that small ball trying to advance the runners, and it's going well for them now.
Yeah, what a way to score a run. To recap that one, Whitten came up to the plate, bunted, got safely to first after the missed tag, then basically stole second when she saw there wasn't a run or a person to tag her out. Another bunt, that one goes off her bat, so we'll have a foul ball here. That one hit her bat twice, but Whitten moves to second, then the Badgers sub in a pinch runner of Parent. Parent sees the third baseman all the way in, so she thinks nobody's going to tag me out there, steals, and then that sac flies. So no hits and no errors, and yet the Badgers end up with a run. That one outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and after the first game against Gabby Ellis, where they only had 2 hits, not many bunt attempts, the Badgers have sort of changed their philosophy in this second game, just trying to get as many base runners as possible and play that sort of small ball.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on for Conger. Dumped into shallow center. A bit of another miscommunication, but making the play, so Michigan will get out of it giving up only 2 runs. But the Badgers take a 2-0 lead, and commanding with how Jacobson's been pitching. This catch in center field sends Conger.
Go visit the Wisconsin table on the concourse to claim your prize. Emily Butcher and thank you, Present Self. The Badgers would like to recognize Evansville Angels 10U as our Stars of Tomorrow Team of the Game. Today's Stars of Tomorrow presentation is brought to you by UW Health, the official women's athletics title sponsor of Wisconsin Athletics. Thank you for supporting our Badgers and good luck with your season.
Yeah, the Badgers have taken a 2-0 lead, and here to talk about one of those Badgers who was important yesterday, we'll throw right over to Rachel Cohen.
Yeah, guys, someone who's really making an impact on this Badgers team is Barrett Herr. Yesterday, she became the 7th freshman in Badgers history to record double-digit wins. But when talking about her recruitment journey, Coach Healy said she first found out about her here at Goodman Diamond during the Wisconsin State Tournament. Coaches came up to her and said, hey, you got to check this girl out. They initially recruited her because of her velocity, but she's proven to be even more than just that. Coach Healy was sharing a story that one time Barrett was cheering on Shelby Jacobson so loudly that not only did she drop her clipboard, broke it, she also set off the noise alert on Coach Healy's Apple Watch. Guys?
Yeah, an interesting story there, Rachel. Not something you'll often see, but the Badgers successful here early in this one. 28 pitches for Jacobson, 27 through those 2 innings as we've got a 2-0 count. Now, we'll have to see what Maddie Ramey can do for Michigan to respond. That's where that's what's most important now.
Yeah, Michigan, after allowing 2 runs in the second inning, looking to respond here in the third.
Swung on towards the second baseman, makes the play as Riley Crane, and over to Whidden to get the out. So, continuing to roll is Shelby Jacobson.
Yeah, Jacobson just looks great so far, pitching to contact, able to get those quick and easy outs and keep her pitch count low after throwing almost 120 pitches in that first game.
Yeah, 15 balls, 15 strikes in those 30 pitches, and yet rather efficient for Jacobson. There's the first pitch. That one's a strike, so gets ahead early in the count on Alakwa. And you see this 9th hitter, you definitely don't think for both teams that they're the worst hitter in the lineup. It's important to roll. You want someone on base for the top of your order, and certainly that's been true for Alakwa, hitting .330 this year. Shows bunt, pulls it back, 1-1.
Yeah, more of a contact hitter, no home runs on the year, but yeah, batting .330, and that's exactly what you want from your 9 hitter. Get on base for the top of the lineup to come back in.
Yeah, Langford waiting in the on deck, certainly anxious to see what the senior can do here. Swung on, fouled, up and over the net, so 1-2 the count now, and Jacobson's in command of yet another Michigan batter. That one swung right over the head of Conger, so she was in command at 1-2, but coming up with a hit is Janelle Anakwa, and now we'll have to see what Michigan do. Alakwa can go at first. We'll have to see if they pinch run, but for Michigan, getting someone on base for Langford to try to contact hit is so important, so a successful at-bat there.
Yeah, first hit for Michigan in this one, and a big one at that. You want to start a rally if you're Michigan after going down 2-0.
Yeah, and you really want to get in the head of Jacobson as well. Takes that one, 1-0. You don't want a pitcher just knowing that they're pitching well and they're in command of this game for a long time. Otherwise, you can stay in that mindset. But at the back of your head, if she's got a couple of hits and runners on base, it's always a little bit more stressful and tense. That one bunted. Langford, the play at first, in time, but dropped. So the Badgers, a bit of an unsuccessful, could be scored as an error. We'll have to see for Riley Crane, but first and third now with only one out is Michigan.
And the sacrifice bunts for both teams just working so well early.
Yeah.
Not an easy play to make by the third baseman there, but just unable to make that throw.
We've got a discussion now with the home plate umpire and Yvette Healy, who knows what they're talking about, but she will say enough that the umpires will gather and have a discussion. Love to go back and see what they could be talking about. Didn't notice anything on first watch. But for Michigan, first and third, now with Lauren Butts coming up, you kind of have to score, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the person that you don't want to see with first and third. The only person who you're really just terrified of when she is at the plate. You just expect that she's going to come through here with 66 RBIs on the year. It's 20 more than anybody else on that Michigan team. And, yeah, I mean, you're just scared to pitch to her here.
Yeah, looks like Wisconsin will be challenging for a possible runner's interference. So we'll have to see if we've got anything there. But for now, as it stands, it's not even that Lauren Putz necessarily has to deliver. She doesn't have to get a hit. She doesn't have to get a double or triple or homer like she's used to. She just has to put the ball in the outfield to some extent, and Michigan will get half of the lead back. Here is another look. Not sure what we're looking at there. Made the turn for Indiana Langford, but they didn't go back to the base. You see anything there that I'm not seeing?
No, I mean, I don't see a whole lot there. Maybe something at first with the first baseman and the runner potentially colliding in some sense, but I didn't really see much there.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the umpires think, but Healy certainly had something to challenge, so there's a good chance that we just don't necessarily know what it is. We'll take one more look at it. Jacobson running up the baseline. I guess maybe they could argue she started on a bit too much of an arc there.
Yeah, she was sort of on the left side of the baseline there, maybe a little bit in the field of play, which might have disrupted that throw from third.
And we had a similar call yesterday that I believe went in the favor of the Badgers, if I'm remembering correctly. Same player, same challenge, same everything. So we'll have to see what comes of this one.
And either way, with Putz up next, expect to pitch away from her here. There is no person on second base, so an empty base, a walk does not kill you like a potential Lauren Putz hit would.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm not sure what I would do in this situation, but looks like the umpires have conferred. We are awaiting an announcement here. Then I will give my take on what the Badgers will do. Confirmed no runner's interference, so it will be first and third. Lauren Putz up to bat, and do you walk her?
Honestly, if I were the Badgers here, I would just try to pitch as away from her as possible. Maybe not a walk intentionally, but just not giving her anywhere close to a pitch to hit.
Yeah, they'll talk about it with Jacobson, so to me that means that they're going to find some way to pitch around her, not just intentionally walk, because otherwise you wouldn't come out to the mound to say that. But for the Badgers, yeah, you've gotten yourself in a rather rough situation after taking a commanding 2-0 lead on this game. It felt like Jacobson was rolling, and then that thing that was officially scored as an error against Riley Crane put Janelle Alakwa on the base, and then coming up with a hit was Indiana Langford. So two seniors coming up big for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you do walk Putz, it really does not get much easier with the hitter here. And especially as you keep going down the lineup, it's never going to be an easy out against this Wolverines team.
Yeah, you're certainly not wrong. You go Stevenson, who's hitting .323 after Putz, then Conway hitting .364. And then as we talked about, Lily Valamont, also, she's hitting .271, .316. So you're not out of it anytime soon. We'll have to see what Jacobson and the Badgers discussed to go off against Lauren Putz. 460 on the year, certainly not someone that you want to pitch to. That one low and skips away from Blomberg, coming home and to second. So Michigan, it doesn't even matter if you've got runners on first and third. That one gets away, 1-2. They get a run back.
Yeah, it's exactly what you don't want to do if you're the Badgers there. A wild pitch just kills you there. Just starting this Michigan rally and, you know, helping them score runs is just not something that you want to do there.
Certainly not what the Badgers wanted to see, but now how do you respond? I guess the slight silver lining is there's only one runner on base, but you'd probably rather have them on base than have scored. So 1-1. 1-1 is the count, my apologies. A lot of ones. Putz is 1 for 1 on the game. Michigan has 1 run, 1 out, 1-1 count. That one swung and fouled back. So Jacobson, now you would expect her to probably not pitch to Putz much, that she's ahead in the count. Jacobson can do what she wants to see if she can get a call from the umpire. That one outside, so likely, as I talked about, testing the edges, seeing what kind of calls you can get. Still 2-2.
Yeah, trying to get a strike 3 call on the outside there.
And why wouldn't you with how good Putz is hitting? There's the 2-2. That one right down the middle, fouled up high and out of play. Right off of the bleachers. A fun souvenir for a fan. 2-2 stays the count now, so Jacobson a bit surprisingly attacking there.
Yeah, and also a great response after that wild pitch, especially against a dangerous hitter. A wild pitch sort of just throws your mind off a little bit, but Jacobson impressively able to respond here and get ahead of the count.
Here is the 2-2 for the second time. That one low, blocked by Blomberg. So now the count works full, and this is not a spot that you want to be quite often against Lauren Putz. I mean, I guess better than a home run, but a full count, a pressure pitch, the third one in a row for Shelby Jacobson. That one swung on, hit towards right field, but playable. Tagging is Langford, and she will make it into third very comfortably, but not the worst outcome if you're the Badgers. A catch by Kendra Lewis.
Hit well by Putz, just right to the right fielder. Nothing you can do about that, and no chance for Lewis to throw the runner out at third there. But the runner on third does not mean a whole lot with 2 outs. The sacrifice won't get anything done here.
Yeah, here is Stevenson not looking to sacrifice, looking to get on base and get the runner abroad. Now, that one swung on high in the infield for Conger, drifting, and she makes the catch. So the Badgers in a sticky situation with that wild pitch, but they maintain the lead. 2-1 through 2.5 innings here. Jacobson working. We'll have to see what we get when we come back.
And a quick reminder during today's game, kids 12 and under grab a concession combo with a hot dog and chips for just $5. Available at the concession stand all game long. Perfect time to grab a snack and enjoy the action, Badger fans. Hey fans, it's time to bring the energy. If the Badgers score in the third inning, you'll score a free scoop of custard from Culver's. Offer is only available for Culver's Delicious Rewards members, so head to theculvers.com/rewards to join for free.
Welcome back in to Big Ten Plus. Bonnie Toll certainly looking to get another win for her team. 136-80, her overall record with the Wolverines in her first season. What do you think she's going to tell her team here in this one to try to get back into it?
Yeah, just got to continue playing the game that they are playing. A good inning in the third, last inning. but just not able to convert on one run on that wild pitch, but just continue to put the ball in play and let the Badgers make the mistakes for them.
Yeah, you're definitely never mad about scoring. Missed opportunities are always important, especially they have been in this series. But for Michigan, nice to cut down into half of that Badger lead. So Emily Bojan, unsuccessful in her first at-bat. She had a huge on-base streak earlier in this season of over 30, I believe, and she's going to look to get on base here again. The 0-1. That one is taken and catches the zone again, so down 0-2 early.
Yeah, elite on-base skills for her, though. 480 on-base percentage with a 360 average. Looking to get something started for the Badgers.
For sure, and Ellis looking for the shutdown. Inning that one fouled back and out of play for Emily Bojan.
Yeah, and although Ellis did let up 2 runs in that second inning, it wasn't completely on her. A lot of sacrifice bunts, a sac fly as well for the Badgers. She's not letting up, hard contact. It's more just the little plays.
Yeah, small ball is a tough thing to pitch against because you can't really pitch around it. That's the point. You've got to throw and let them bunt and count on your defense to make the plays. Good steals for the Badgers, found an extra run in, and if that runner didn't go to second and then third, we'd have a 1-1 ball game. 2-2 the count now as that one misses.
2 borderline pitches after the first 2 strikes, just trying to get a swing and miss or a called strike 3. Not looking to attack the zone yet, but looking probably now to attack the zone with the 2-2 count. Got to bounce back.
Yeah, why not? You're up 0-2. That one swung on and fouled out of play yet again, so making her work is Emily Bojan. And that's what these on-base hitters do. Even when they don't get on, generally, they'll force the count up, force your pitch count up, see if you can get a walk, or just at least make everything that you possibly can difficult. So now through 2 innings, Ellis has 45 pitches, which is a pretty high number, especially how efficient she was on Friday. That one inside, so the count is full.
Yeah, we were talking about before, Ellis 91 pitches on Friday in 6 innings, and already, like you were saying, 46 pitches. That's not where you want to be in terms of pitch count. You want her to go as far as possible.
Yeah, here is the payoff. That one swung, and guess what? Fouled back yet again. And especially for Michigan, the pitching ever important as they used 4 different pitchers yesterday. That's pretty rare in softball and not the spot that they wanted to be, but it didn't feel like anyone could get it done. The Badgers got 14 hits. Final score ended up looking closer than it felt through the first 4 innings, but for Michigan now that means you almost need Ellis to go for. There's a payoff again. That one grounded off of the glove of the third baseman, and so Bojan will reach. Down 0-2, battles back a bunch of foul balls, a long at-bat for her, and ends up successfully as well.
Yeah, Maddie Erickson at third base there, just so close to making that play as well. She had another close play in the second inning where she almost tagged the runner out who was bunting, or tagged the third base runner who was running home after the bunt. Just not able to convert on either of those.
So here is Hillary Blomberg. That one driven out to right field and crosses the fence, but just foul. Big contact for Hillary Blomberg, and that's often how she does it, going opposite field, but an unfortunate for break. The Badgers would have loved to take a bit of a more commanding lead, and Blomberg would have loved to get on the score sheet in a positive way.
Yeah, almost looked like yet another home run for Blomberg in this series. Just foul, but hard contact. She's seeing the ball well.
The 0-1. That one outside. 1-1 the count. Yeah, for Blomberg, she had a home run in each of those first 2 games, and in that first game, her home run was important. It responded to a 3-0 Michigan lead. Although it only cut down, it showed that the Badgers were still in it. They came back to tie it 3-3, and then once the game was delayed, there's a swing on, hit out towards center field. Caught, and returning to first is Emily Bojan, so not successful for Hillary Blomberg. But in that at-bat in the first game, it kind of gave the Badgers a bit of momentum until The game was delayed. They had to play the second half of the first game yesterday, and Michigan took a commanding win.
Yeah, and that's always hard, especially the Badgers responded to Michigan's 3 runs with 3 runs of their own, got the momentum back, and then, bam, you have to go into the delay, and then it's sort of just starting an entire new game that next day, especially knowing that you have to play a whole nother game afterwards as well.
That one high and inside. The Badgers did a good job to fight back to get that second game. Otherwise, Michigan would have been ahead of them in the standings. Coming into this series, Michigan was 1 game back in the Big Ten standings, and that's how we sit. Hard contact for Kendra Lewis, almost out to the warning track. Making the play for Michigan is Janisa Conway.
Yeah, Michigan looking to make it 4 straight Big Ten series wins. They've been playing their best ball as of late after falling behind in the standings early because of some rough matchups with the 1 and 2 seed in the Big Ten, going 0-6 in those games.
Yeah, people coming into this season would have been certainly surprised to see Michigan sitting at 0-6 in the Big Ten after the first 2 series, but as you talked about, that draw was real rough, especially with how successful Michigan was in the softball Big Ten postseason last year. The 1-0 to Bark. Inside, gets the call, 1-1.
Yeah, Michigan won the Big Ten last year as well, and then got off to a bit of a slow start this year just because of an unlucky schedule draw.
For sure in the Big Ten. The 1-1, that one taken again, just missed, so 2-1 the count. For Michigan, their record on the year would be surprising if I told you they're home and away. So they're 28-16, they're 9-10 away, and 5-5 at home, which doesn't add up. There's Bark popping it out right to the shortstop. I will have to return with more information about that, but we are through 3. The Badgers still up 2-1 after a little pop out from Olivia Bark. We'll have to see who the momentum is hanging with after this.
Wisconsin fans, Big Ten Plus is your home for softball all season long. Scan the QR code now for a free month of Big Ten Plus and never miss a moment. Fans, did you know 8 members of the 2014-15 Wisconsin softball team earned NFCA All-American Scholar Athlete honors for the 2014-15 academic year?
Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. As you take a look at the standings for softball through a little bit more than halfway of the season, both of these teams sitting right around 10th. The Badgers tied 9th with Penn State, Michigan at 10th after the loss yesterday. Before that, both teams would have been tied, but it's a real tight conference with, I'm counting, 5 teams within 2 to 3 games from 7 to 11.
Yeah, and other than Nebraska, the West is really dominating the new Big Ten. UCLA, Oregon, and Washington find themselves in the top 4 of the Big Ten.
Absolutely. So what I was talking about there that I'll go back to, Michigan 28-16, a great record on the year, 7-10 in conference. But when you look at their home and away record, they're 5-5 at home and 9-10 away. That does not add up. There's the strike, taking the advantage in the count 0-1 is Shelby Jacobson against Janisa Conway. Michigan is 14-1 in neutral games this year. So, oddly enough, they love playing at a team that's at a stadium that's not their home or not their away. That 14-1 record to open the year, certainly non-conference, buoying their overall record. This one out to center field. Danny Lucy makes the play.
Yeah, and that's interesting. 14-1 non-conference record is very good. It just shows you how stacked this Big Ten conference is this year. It's not easy to have a big record or to have a strong record in the Big Ten, especially with all these powerhouse teams.
Absolutely. The Big Ten is tough always, especially tough this year with Nebraska pitching so well. The Badgers certainly saw that in a series against them last week, and Michigan seeing that earlier in the season.
Yeah, both teams swept by Nebraska in this season. The Badgers, that's their most recent Big Ten loss. They're looking to respond here in this series against Michigan, looking to win the series after being swept by Nebraska previously.
Yeah, defensive change for the Badgers out in right field. That one's turned on and hit hard but foul right at the Badger bullpen by Lily Valamont. Addie Blomberg out in right field now. They moved Lewis to the designated player. Lewis is a bat you are not going to take out of the lineup very easily, and so looks like Bojan now likely is the one who is the casualty of those roster moves. 2-1 the count now on Lily Valamont. Only 49 pitches through 3 1/3 for Shelby Jacobson. Efficient. Certainly different than her last outing.
Yeah, she's cruising a little bit, especially being able to get out of that rough inning in the third with only 1 run.
That one just misses, so down 3-1 now to the 5-hitter. The 51st pitch from Shelby Jacobson about to go underway. And it misses, so drawing the walk is Lily Valamont, a runner on base now, and things get a little bit more interesting for the Wolverines. Only down 1, and now the possible game-leading runner at the plate.
Yeah, only 3 walks in the first outing for Jacobson. Walks are just not what you want to give to these, especially to this powerful Wolverines offense. You don't want to give them those free base runners.
Certainly not. Wisconsin 118 walks and Michigan 135 walks on the year. So slightly better for the Wolverines. But now coming up to the plate is Kylie Carr. 0 for 1 in today's game, but on the season she's been more impressive than that, hitting .316 in her 20 games started, 27 total appearances. That one misses, low and away.
Yeah, only 57 at-bats for Carr this year. She's sort of a part-time starter, but when she is starting, she knows how to make her make her presence felt on the field, batting .316, like you were saying, with 2 home runs as well.
Absolutely the fewest runs in the starting lineup for Michigan. That one skied on and out of play, a foul ball. 7 runs for her this year in the 57 at-bats. Having the fewest runs sounds not great, but with how good on offense Michigan is, certainly should be taken with a grain of salt. Likely what Carr is specifically trying not to do here is strike out. She's got 10 on the year, and that would be pretty bad for Michigan to leave this runner on first, not even advance them, and move towards 2 outs.
Yeah, Carr's a freshman, so you don't expect just to get thrown into the starting lineup and be just a full starter right away and play 40, 50 games. But just getting that experience in the first year is key.
For sure, that one in the dirt. So in command of the count now is Kylie Carr. Time called by Blomberg. You saw that pop on your screen. Similarly to earlier, Jacobson basically dead even on the amount of balls and strikes that she has thrown in this one. There is going to be a strike. So 3-2, the count works full onto Kylie Carr, and we'll have a really interesting payoff pitch here. About halfway through the game, Michigan's still down 1, and they've got a runner on. You never know how many opportunities you're going to have left, and this is certainly a good one here. That one taken low and away, so now runners on first and second for Maddie Erickson.
Back-to-back walks from Jacobson, able to get 2 strikes in that count, just unable to find the zone on that payoff pitch.
Yeah, looks like they're going to the bullpen, are the Badgers. Someone was up and working in there, or just a bunch of players are looking in that direction, but as of right now, Jacobson is going to exit. We'll have to see who the Badgers go for to replace her.
Yeah, and after pitching 117 pitches 2 days ago, it's not going to be an easy thing to go this entire game, so I wasn't expecting her to go all 7 like she did in that first game.
Yeah, and the Badgers only used 2 pitchers yesterday, so unlike Michigan, not as in as tight of a spot. But coming into the game is Kendra Lewis. So started the game hitting, then was moved to the designated player. Now will be the pitcher, and she's been great for the Badgers this year.
Yeah, she pitched yesterday, 2 innings pitched, 0 hits allowed, and got the save.
Yeah, she had a certainly dominant save. She'll look to warm up, and this is a really important spot. She started 19 games is how many she's played this year. 7 starts, my apologies. That ERA a little inflated, but the Ks per 7 and the walks per 7 certainly looking pretty good.
Yeah, and this is exactly who you want to sub in this moment. She did great in relief yesterday as well as at the plate. It's just amazing to have someone who can do both pitching and hitting so well. It's very rare.
Absolutely, a two-way player is very valuable to a team, and she's going to be really valuable in this spot. It shows how much Coach Yvette Healy trusts her, because runners on first and second with 1 out, the bottom of the order, you know that you need to get these outs here and now, otherwise Michigan is certainly threatening to take the lead.
Yeah, and last year she found herself on all Big Ten first team, all Big Ten freshman team as a freshman. Obviously, Big Ten freshman team, she would be a freshman. But now in this sophomore year, just improving as well.
For sure, still finding ways to contribute to both the Badger offense and defense. Her first pitch is going to catch the zone. So 0-1 on Maddie Erickson. And if I'm Kendra Lewis, I'm thinking I just got to pitch strikes to Maddie Erickson. The lowest average on the starting lineup for the team, hitting .215 this year. Still started in 37 games, but she's got usually finds different ways on base than hits.
Yeah, and Kendra Lewis picking up right where she left off with that strike in the first pitch. Ball there, but looking to bounce back here.
Yeah, 0-for-1 with a fly out in the second on the day is Maddie Erickson. That one looks like it's going to be low again, so 2-1.
Borderline pitch there.
Yeah, I would expect Lewis to be aggressive here, attack the zone while you can. Don't want to get down 3-1 and then give Erickson the opportunity to swing big. Here it is, that one she grounds into the dirt, jumping on Conger, and no play is made, interestingly enough. So a bad bounce, the runner right there, and Michigan finds a way to load the bases with only 1 out.
Yeah, very difficult play to make there with the runner in your peripheral view, just running right past you.
And we'll get another look at it. That one caught her somehow in the face, and Yvette Healy's out again talking to an umpire.
Yeah, I guess you could argue maybe that runner somehow interfered with that ball, but I don't think that that's going to be argued, unless it is.
Yeah, the umpires will have a discussion again. Who knows what we've got going on here. Conger looked a little out of sorts there, and we'll look at Yvette Healy, 16th season as head coach, .589 record with the Badgers, coming over from Loyola Chicago. Certainly a cornerstone in this Badger program, coaching them for over half of the years they've even been a team in existence.
Yeah, and highest winning percentage of any UW coach in the program's history. Just has turned this program around and been there for so long, so
yeah,
just has that experience and knows when to challenge things, although it didn't go well in the first inning.
We'll have an announcement here. Challenge again. Runners interference again, so we'll have to see what the umpires see this time. Wisconsin is challenging this one, up 2-1 with the bases loaded, and certainly in an important spot.
Yeah, and once again, like the previous challenge, I didn't see much that could overturn this and make it runners interference, because the runner is just continuing on the baseline, had to run to third anyways. There was no way for her not to get in the way of that play.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure we'll have another look at this one soon. We got a great replay up at the board, a great crew for this game in general, helping us out with this tight game here. And it's expected to be a fun one, regardless of this challenge. One would assume that as of right now, neither team will pull away a ton. Here is that look, so grounded high, jumps up on Conger, and then I guess maybe she got a shot from the runner instead. This is a good look here. No, that ball got her in the face, but who knows what the officials are going to decide.
Yeah, just running right to third. I don't see much there. We'll see what the officials do decide, but this should be a relatively quick challenge, I believe. And so bases loaded if this challenge does not hold up for Michigan. Just a huge spot for them down 1 run. You need to capitalize here if you're them with the bottom of the order coming up.
Here we are, and here is the announcement. Confirmed again, so yet another unsuccessful Wisconsin challenge, and she will be out of challenges. So Kendra Lewis, an unfortunate spot to be in, yet again made the right pitch there in a ground ball, but just could not get an out, so bases loaded. Maddie Ramey, not someone that you're as worried about coming up as you would be in the top of the order, but you got to get through these, otherwise you know the top of the order is coming up soon enough.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the exact pitch you want to make. That's the exact contact that you want, a ground ball to the shortstop, potential double play ball. Just a very unlucky bounce there. She was attacking the hitters low, trying to get them to maybe roll over it, which is exactly what happened, except just unable to make the play at short.
Yeah, now we'll expect to see the infield play in a little bit. Not as much expecting a bunt necessarily, but you want to be prepared to go to any base if you can. Want to know the count early.
Yeah, corners maybe in a little bit, but the middle infield should be playing back, expecting a potential double play ball here, hopefully is what they want.
Absolutely, it looks like Whitten at first is giving herself a bunch of space back there. The 1-0. That one swung on just past Riley Crane. Michigan will send the second runner home, and she is in there safe, so they take the lead 3-2. Wolverines are up on a single by Maddie Ramey.
Huge hit from the 8-hitter there. That's exactly what you want your bottom of the order to do. Just convert these singles and score the runners. Such a big hit in a big spot for the Wolverines here and taking the lead.
Just got enough of that one that Crane couldn't dive and get that in time. Good running as well, both runners comfortably crossing the plate. And now for the Badgers, you are immediately turning to the top of the order, and Janelle Alakwa only stands in between. Runners on first and third. That one swung on over the head of Crane. So Michigan will send to second. We'll have a play here. She's going to be out at second. She's signaling that she was safe. Regardless, the runner will score, so now Michigan takes a 4-2 advantage. We'll see. It looks like Michigan will challenge here, and it looked like a close play at second. I'm excited to take another look at it.
Yeah, we'll see the replay here, but live it looked like her left foot might have gotten in there before the tag was made on the right foot. We'll take a look at the replay right here.
This is just going to be the runner scoring, I believe, so showing that Michigan is up 4-2. But you know who was most confident about that one being safe is Janelle Alakwa. She does not want to leave that bag. We'll see what the announcement here from the umpires is, but I certainly expect that it will be a challenge.
Yeah, and third challenge of the game for either team. 2 unsuccessful ones from Wisconsin. As we can see here,
here's a look
not
at it.
The best angle for us to see, but I believe the left foot got in before the tag was made on the right knee.
Yep, that is officially Michigan challenging the ruling on the field. So there is officially, as of right now, a runner on third, and Michigan challenging to put that runner on second. And this is a very pivotal point of the game, because if you take a step back, you lose an out if Michigan wins the challenge, and you bring up Indiana Langford. If Langford doesn't get out, then you're probably scoring another run, and then Lauren Putz is coming up to bat. So the Badgers quickly finding themselves in a spot that they could get down big really easily.
Yeah, and already down 2 runs. The difference between a runner on third and 2 outs and a runner on second and third and 1 out is huge.
Here's another angle of it. There we go. So yeah, that one looks like she got that foot in there. The interesting thing is Conger did have plenty of time to make that tag, so we'll have to see what the officials or the refs, umpires, third time's the try, I apologize, decide on there.
Yeah, I think the tag might have just been missed there. She had so much time to get the tag in. Might have been surprised with the amount of time that she did have.
There's another good look, zoomed in. Ooh, that might be a little closer than we think. I'm not sure if she does get that first, like that foot or that leg or not. It doesn't really look like it, but we'll see what the umpires decide. And although it could end up going as a missed tag on Hannah Conger, it also could just go as a great slide by Janelle Alakwa.
Yeah, and the question is there enough to overturn that play? Because she was called out on the field. The question is there really that much that we can see that she did miss that original tag? Because it looks like she may have potentially grazed that left leg, but in my opinion, it seems as if she missed the left leg and got the right leg too late.
We'll get the announcement here. Stands, so not confirmed yet again. As you talked about, I have a feeling the two most important words in sports reviews of conclusive evidence. So likely they said we can't see where that glove is with the dirt flying up. Who knows if she made that tag or not, but a big break for the Badgers, still down 2, so not in as great of a position as they were coming into this inning, but that could have been really bad. Langford looking to make them pay. That slap hit towards the third baseman makes that play and is out. So the Badgers get out of it. A sketchy inning for them. Had to bring in Kendra Lewis. Down 2 through the middle of the 4th inning right now. We'll have to see if they can respond. Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. We're through 3.5 here in Madison, and Michigan electing to change up their defense. It looks like number 23, Avery Fantucci, is coming into the game, the senior, to take over at shortstop. Not sure what that means for Kylie Carr as of right now, but certainly Ellis looking to shut down the Badgers, and that defense behind her now going to be a little different.
Yeah, and Ellis pitching with the lead for the first time in this game. 2-0 deficit for most of this one. But now, pitching with the lead, it just completely changes your mentality, changes the way that you attack these Wisconsin hitters.
It absolutely does in the bottom of the 4th, and Danny Lucy was very successful in her last at-bat for the Badgers. Just came up and slapped one right over the right fielder's head for a nice stand-up double to lead off the inning, and then ended up scoring, if my memory is correct.
Yeah, the bottom of the order got things going for the Badgers in that second inning. See if they can do it again now.
Yeah, takes a 2-0 advantage of the count. We'll have to see what she's thinking here and what Gabby Ellis is thinking as well. The Badgers, as we saw, pulled their starting pitcher Shelby Jacobson early in the last inning, but Michigan, again, likely going to be hesitant about that. There's Lucy squaring to bunt, goes foul, because they have so little pitching depth available to them because of how many pitchers started last game.
Yeah, and Ellis has the ability to go far into games. We've seen before. We've seen all season long. So just looking for her to continue what has been a very good start from her this far.
Lucy now ahead in a 2-1 count. That one inside, so 3-1. We'll see if she gets something to swing big at again. 36 hits on the year, 340 average. She's been really on top of the ball in general, and then once she gets on base, she's a threat to run. She's always moving around in the pitcher's eyesight. That one fouled back, so the count works full. A pivotal batter in this game for both teams. The Badgers now were leading for most of it, find themselves behind, and Michigan wants to keep their foot on the gas. Here is that pitch, that one right toward the shortstop in the defensive substitution. Coming in the game, Avery Fantucci, first batter, makes a great play to keep Danny Lucy off the base path.
That ball was killed, just a great play there. Hit right to her on the line drive, but great contact there, just unlucky. Hit right to the shortstop.
Yeah, here's Mackenzie Foster now, 0 for 1 on the day, a ground out in second. But that ground out was a sacrifice, so she certainly accomplished her mission. That one looked a little inside, just missed, so 1-0. Only 3 combined walks in the game, 1 strikeout, and 1 extra base hit. Foster just gets the call there, so 1-1 the count now.
Again, we can see Ellis attacking the outside zone to these lefty hitters. It's just so hard to swing at a pitch that looks like it's outside, but the umpire giving her those strikes.
Squares to bunt and pulls back, so 2-1 the count now. The Badgers have scored 2 runs, and yet they're 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position and only 1 for 5 with runners on base in general. So certainly an interesting bit of a statistical anomaly for a team. Usually to score runs, you're getting hits with runners on, but they found other ways to do it. There's a good pitch, so 2-2. The count works even.
Yeah, very nice pitch there. Just almost unhittable inside, right in the hands. If you do make contact with that, it's going to be weak contact to the right side.
Exactly. For Mackenzie Foster, you're just taking that one and hoping the umpire makes the call your way. That one swung on, hit towards the second base. The play is made rather easily, so Michigan gets the first 2 outs. Janelle Alakwa coming up big in the last inning and coming up big again here.
Very nice inning so far for Ellis, getting those 2 quick outs. It's exactly what you want, especially after taking the lead. And if you're Wisconsin, you really need to start something, maybe get something going with 2 outs here. Going down 4-2, you don't want Michigan to get those bats back up, especially when they're hot like they are now.
Now the Badgers are 1 for 3 on the day with 2 outs, and that one comes up inside and gets Kaylee Whidden. So now a runner on the base pass for the Badgers, and Riley Crane will have a chance to make Michigan pay for that hit by pitch.
Just snuck it inside there. Hit her right on the elbow. Once again, not what you want, giving these free base runners. It's been key in all of these innings.
For sure. Here's Ellis. Crane looked like she was walking on that one, didn't swing and took the ball. 0 for 1 with a sac fly in the second, so overall a pretty successful game for Riley Crane, just her 6th start of the year. That one swung on and fouled down the third base line.
First RBI of the year for Crane in this one. First RBI of the year, and it got the 2nd run for Wisconsin. Sac fly, it's exactly what you want to do in the situation that she was in on the plate.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily look as important right now, but at the time it was a big run for the Badgers to double their lead. Takes that one inside, so 2-1. That one will get the call. 2-2 is the count. For Ellis now, you wanted to get out of this inning with the last batter. Now you're certainly wanting to get out of it with Riley Crane.
Yeah, and only one pitch to the last batter, so not really affecting the pitch count, but does affect the runner on first.
That one misses outside. 3-2, the count works full. And this pitch count for Ellis still climbing ever slowly, 74, and not quite through 4 innings yet. The payoff pitch misses outside, so runners on first and second, and the Badgers looking to make something from nothing. Riley Crane, a great play there to take that one of 2 seniors on the team. These Badgers are young, and that was a veteran experience that came through well for them in that situation.
Yeah, and she's putting together a very good game, not necessarily in the hitting category, but that sac fly and a bunt to potentially start a 2-out rally here for the Badgers is what they're looking for. As a quick mound visit with Ellis, you want just to give her some advice, some pep to get out of this inning.
Yeah, Conger 0 for 1 on the game, but she comes up in another pivotal spot. If you can turn the lineup over, I'm not entirely sure who you would turn it up to. It looks like Bojan is still out there, so somehow she was not subbed out of that DP role unless they subbed her in on defense. But if you can turn that lineup back over, you'll have either scored a run or loaded the bases, and that's exactly where the Badgers almost need to be. Because if you can't score on this one, then you've only got 3 innings left to make something work against Gabby Ellis. Oh, we got a pinch hit, so Conger will not come up to bat. Instead, it will be Addison Weary. Looks like that mound visit likely then was a response to that pinch hit, given that you got to give her the scouting report. That one real tight inside, just misses 1-0.
Yeah, Weary, a freshman, batting 200 on the year, only 25 at-bats. So a huge spot for her in this one. Runners on first and second, Badgers looking to capitalize.
Yeah, 1 home run on the year for Weary. That one misses outside, so 2-0 will be the count. There we can see that 1 home run, 7 runs batted in, 208 average, and 792 OPS. So an interesting situation there that Yvette Healy decides to put Addison Weary in, swings on that one, fouls it right back, 2-1 the count.
And Ellis is putting runners on base, 1 hit by pitch, 1 walk, struggling a little bit late in this inning to find the zone after 2 quick outs to start it.
Yes, a very important pitch for her here. We'll have to see what her and Lily Valamont come up with. That one outside almost gets away from her, but as you talked about, Lily Valamont is stout behind the plate. 3-1 the count.
And the last thing you want to do is a walk here to load the bases, get back to the top of the order for the Badgers. You got to attack the pinch hit 9-hitter and try to get her out before the...
That one swung on. Big contact, but moves foul, so full count. Well, Yvette Healy wanted her in this situation, and she's drawn the count full, so a pressure pitch and a pressure pitch for both players is what I should say. There it is, swung on and missed, or foul tipped but caught. Michigan gets out of the inning in a pivotal spot, and they are certainly going to be happy, bringing a 2-run lead into the 5th inning here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Junior announcer Ella. Big round of applause for Ella. She's got one more thing to let you know. Go Badgers!
We are back. The Badgers taking on the Wolverines. We'll look at a hitting summary through this game. Neither team has gotten a home run yet in this game, which is interesting. 2 walks for each, 1 strikeout for each. Michigan just hitting a little bit better with runners in scoring position. 4 hits for the Wolverines and 3 hits for the Badgers. What do you think Michigan's going to look to do in this inning?
I mean, it's really just the bottom of the order for Michigan. The 7, 8, 9 hitters have 4 hits, and we need to turn it, or Michigan needs to turn it around. The top 5 hitters, 0 hits in this one, 0 for 2 for 4 of them, and 0 for 1 for 1. And now we're starting off with the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Lauren Putz, 0 for 2 on the day. 1 for 2, well, 0 for 2, but the double was an error, I believe.
Yeah, one that was a scoring decision. We'll have to see how it ends up. But here she is now. That one drilled foul, swinging on the first pitch. So 0-1. We'll have to see what Kendra Lewis looks to respond with here. Came into the inning in a not great spot and kind of got out of it. An interesting 4th inning. Michigan leads 4-2 because of it. That one gets the batter. She looks a little shaken up, but Lauren Putz will walk off to first base. And she's a hitting threat, but she's also a stealing threat. 9 for 11 coming into this game, and she's already got one, 10 for 12. She is walking gingerly on that one, though.
Yeah, that might affect the stealing threat. She doesn't look like that pitch felt good, hitting her right in the leg there. It looks like she's trying to walk it off, but grimacing a little bit in pain.
Yeah, she's really shaken up there. This does not look like a good sign for the Wolverines. Gives the thumbs up to the umpire, but just shaky. So as you said, I'd be surprised to see her take off in general. Something Kendra Lewis does not have to worry about. 1-0 the count. That one misses. Ella Stevenson coming up to the plate. Had a great series. This day a little bit less productive. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out. That one misses high and outside. 2-0.
And this is a big inning for Lewis, being thrown in the 4th inning with runners on 1st and 2nd. It's never going to be easy to get out of the inning with no damage. But here, a fresh inning, you need to shut it down, especially being down 4-2 now.
That one inside. So now 3-0 the count. And if you're Yvette Healy, I can understand why you showed as much confidence in Lewis as you did, bringing her into the game in such an important spot with how she pitched yesterday, but now looking a little shaky. That one misses low and away, real close. Doesn't get the call, though, so runners on 1st and 2nd for the Wolverines.
Yeah, 1 hit by pitch, 1 walk, just giving them runners on 1st and 2nd. It's been a bit of a struggle for both of these pitchers here, allowing those walks and those hit by pitches. We've seen 1 in this inning and 1 in the previous inning as well.
Yeah, Janisa Conway up to bat now. Both a hitting threat and a speed threat. 10 for 10 in steals on the year. That one fouled back. Yeah, Stevenson, the only one in those top 4 that is not necessarily a huge speed threat. She's on the base, but she's not the lead runner, so likely will not come back to bite Michigan. That one low and away, 1-1 the count. And this is a must out here for Kendra Lewis. You don't want to have anything go wrong here, already down 2. And as you can see, Conway's a hard out as well, tied for the most triples in the NCAA. That one, strike 2.
And obviously a triple here would be huge for Conway, but really anything in play that can try to move the runners over. You just don't want a double play here. You just want to put the ball in play in a way that can advance the runners or maybe even score.
That one swung on and missed, so Lewis makes her situation a little bit easier. Gets the her first strikeout of the day and gets the first out of the inning. First and second now coming up to the plate will be Lily Valamont. We'll take another look at that one. A great dropping pitch just out in front, and above was Lily Valamont. Or Janisa Conway, my apologies. There is Valamont grounding it towards third. Called foul. Not sure why. It looked like it stayed fair.
I believe it hit her leg coming out of the box, or maybe hit her bat twice, but there was definitely something. Coach at third base automatically knew that it was going to be a foul ball, and Valamont didn't even leave the batter's box. So I believe she felt it hit her leg, and it was called foul.
Yeah, not a great break for the Badgers. It would have been at least one easy out. Instead, 0-1 the count. Still only one out and runners on first and second. That one, strike two. That was a great pitch for Lewis. Just went with the high heat inside. Another one of those pitches that if you swing at, you're likely not going to get a hold of, and gets the call anyway. That one low, so 1-2, and now if you're Kendra Lewis, you're going to do whatever you can to, again, test the umpire, see if you can get a call. You're certainly not going to give her one middle if you can try.
Yeah, very nice take there by Valamont. Not easy to do 0-2 with a pitch that starts in the zone and then drops out of it.
That one grounded to second, a bad hop off of Riley Crane into the outfield. Michigan scores the run and will advance the other runner to third. So first and third, 5-2, the Wolverines lead it.
That's the second tough hop faced against the Badgers. The ball just rolls, and then bounces up and hits the fielder in the face. The field has not been kind to the Badgers today, which is weird considering it is their home field. It's not being very nice to them today.
Yeah, their home dirt is not exactly making them happy. I'm not sure what we're holding up with right now, but if we can get a look at that one, if there it is, we'll see the runner advance to third and then score as she saw that bounce over the head of Crane, but that was just really one of those bounces that truly eat you up. Not much you can do right at your feet, and then just bounces right up into you. Unfortunately for Crane, it bounced over and was not able to block it down, so Michigan will take advantage. And now looking to take advantage as well is Kylie Carr.
Yeah, that's the second straight potential double play ball that Lewis has allowed. It's just unlucky bounces for the Badgers that are just preventing them from making these plays. It's just not a play that you expect to make, especially with how difficult that bounce was.
The full replacement in softball, Avery Fantucci, came in for Carr on defense, and now she'll come in on offense as well. That one just low, so Fantucci takes early control of the count. 13 runs batted in on the year, 1 home run, and 235 average. She's been semi-productive when they've needed her to, but just hasn't gotten a ton of looks at it on the year. That one low, so 2-0 the count. And for Michigan, one of the better things that could happen right now is a walk. You know Kendra Lewis is having a hard time getting outs, whether they are her fault or not. You just want to get as many runners on as you possibly can. That one swung on and gets in between shortstop and third. So now runners at first and second and another one in. The Wolverines take a stranglehold on the Badgers in this inning, 6-2 with runners on first and second and only one out.
Very nice situational hitting there. You know the shortstop's going to be playing closer to second base. As you can see, trying to get that double play ball in the third baseman a little bit in, and so you hit it right between them. Nobody's going to be able to make that play.
Just did exactly what the Wolverines asked of her and got the run batted in and got on base because of it. Maddie Erickson up to the plate now. She is going to look to continue this Michigan hitting. That one will catch, so 1-1 the count. And for Kendra Lewis, it's a difficult spot because you don't want to say she just has to throw strikes, because often when she is throwing strikes, the defense is not necessarily backing her up, which is a tough spot to be. So that one swung on, fouled. Looks like it's going to stay in play, and making the catch are the Badgers. So that runner will tag from second to third, but a successful batter there. Michigan now first and third, 2 outs.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's really hard when you aren't able to get those swing and misses, but also when the ball is getting in play. They've been some rough bounces, rough defensive plays for the Badgers, so there's not really much that you can try to do. It's hard to get those outs when things aren't really going your way.
Certainly, that catch, not entirely sure who that was by. It looks like it. Now remember, Kendra Lewis was the right fielder. That one will go over the head of Whidden and foul, so no damage for the Badgers. That is going to be Sydney Spear out there, so that is who came in right field for Kendra Lewis, who is pitching now.
Yeah, and the bottom of the order is what got things started for Michigan in that third inning, or in that fourth inning and the third inning, looking to continue that here with 2 outs.
That one outside, 1-1 the count. Now Maddie Ramey, 15 hits on the year, looking to make it 16, an important spot in this game. That one swung on, good contact. It's moving towards the gap, and it lands. This is going to be at least a double. The first runner scores. The second comes around the plate, 8-2. The Wolverines lead it, and that's their fourth run this inning.
Yeah, and just a huge inning for the Wolverines here, capitalizing off of the couple miscues in the Badgers defense, but also just continuing the dominance from the fourth inning as well. 7 runs now in the past 2 innings, and 3 runs, 4 runs. Those are come back a little bit. Once you get to 6, 7, 8 runs with 3 innings remaining, it just seems very difficult for the Badgers to get back in this one, especially with the innings still going.
Yeah, never out of a game, but down 6 runs, especially only having 3 hits on the day. Not a great spot for the Badgers to be in. It looks like we'll get another pitching change. So coming into the game now is Jordan Felci, looking to control these Wolverines. And for Kendra Lewis, she came into the game through 1.1 innings, gave up 6 hits and 5 earned runs. Certainly not as dominant as her last outing yesterday.
Yeah, just a complete opposite from what happened yesterday for her. Great outing yesterday, came in today, just was put in a tough spot originally with runners on first and second, and was never really able to recover after, letting those runs up early. And Jacobson, had a great start through 3.1 innings. You wonder if the 120 pitches 2 days ago or yesterday as well affected her being taken out of the game despite having runners on first and second.
Yeah, it's a tough game for the Badgers. You'll look at Jordan Felci's stats there. 2 starts, 0-0 record, the ERA a little high. But taking a step back, it's difficult because it has been for both teams when the Badgers were winning and now Michigan up big. It hasn't really been with big hits. That was a great double right into the gap, hard contact, but that is not how Michigan has gotten most of their 8 runs in this game, especially with both teams so used to getting so many home runs, with Putz and Blomberg both having 14 plus on the year. They're used to power hitting and just everything going right for the teams, meaning it's going deep into the outfield and sac flies for the Badgers, as you talked about. But this one, certainly, it's been sloppy infield play, bad bounces that have killed the Badgers.
Yeah, I mean, hard hit balls from Michigan, just nothing, getting deep into the outfield except for that double we just saw. A lot of hard hit balls in the infield, making it very difficult for the infielders to make those plays, which has led to this, sort of collapse from the Badgers in the last 2 innings.
A great first pitch from Jordan Felci against a great hitter in this game is Janelle Alakwa. She has certainly come up big when Michigan has needed her. That last time she was up in the last inning, actually, she gets a hold of that one just foul past the third base line. But the last inning she was up was that great single when there were runners on I believe, first and second, or second and third, and then she tried to stretch it into the double, didn't get the call to go her way, but regardless, had a good run batted in, and 2 for 2 on the day, looking to make it 3 for 3, and she could even add to her RBI count here. That one just misses. Some of the Badgers wanted it and were ready to head back in the dugout. Instead, 1-2 the count.
Yeah, and Felch's a pitcher that is very hot and cold. You see the ERA and you think that she may, just not have good starts, but she has many, many consistent starts, except for those, run or outings where she lets up 6-8 runs.
That one, we've got an appeal, and the third base coach says she swung. So, some big damage for the Wolverines. The Badgers not going to be happy coming out of this half of the fifth. Michigan up 8-2, only 2.5 left to play. Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. Michigan got a big lead on the Badgers, up 6, and a big part of that, number 2, Lauren Putz. Here's Rachel to tell us about
it. Yeah, guys, sophomore Lauren Putz is no stranger to the maize and blue. She grew up a Michigan fan. Her mom, Kelsey, played softball at Michigan, and her dad, JJ, played baseball at Michigan. She was always repping the Michigan colors. She said it was her dream to play softball here, and as soon as she stepped foot onto campus, it felt like a second home. She said her parents tried to take a step back in the recruitment journey because they wanted it to be her decision, and that philosophy is really carried with them into her playing as well. They want to be her parents. Try not to coach her too much, and she just said overall they're so excited that she is at Michigan and they're starting a family legacy. Guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Certainly, Putz has been a big part of this Michigan offense all year, and Michigan's certainly happy about the outcome as of right now here in this one, up big on the Badgers. Bojan looking to do what she can, down 2-0 in the count right now. That one misses, so it'll work to 3-0.
It's really been everybody for Michigan hitting well in this game, not just Lauren Putz, but it's just been a lot of hard contact from the bottom of the order that has really, set them apart from this Wisconsin team here.
Yeah, these two teams were pretty evenly matched in the first two games in different ways. Takes that one for a strike, 3-1. Michigan in the second half of the first game on yesterday. What a weird way to phrase that split doubleheader kind of thing that ended up happening because of the delay. Was much better than the Badgers, and then the Badgers responded. Up 6-0 early in the second game. Bojan will take a walk, so the Badgers looking to get back into it, get what they need from their first batter.
Again, this is what you want if you're the Badgers, just base runners. You don't need those big hits, those big home runs, because you are down 6 runs. You need to string a bunch of things together and have a lot of things go your way to come back in this one.
I think the person coming up to bat right now would disagree with you. You know Hillary Blomberg's always looking for the wall, or not. Gets hit by the first pitch. There you go. She's always a power hitter. Instead finds her way to get on base. So first and second, and for Michigan, this is not the time to be putting extra runners on base.
Yeah, and she wants pitches to hit. She wants to, hit those big home runs, but she'll take a one-pitch at-bat, just a easy path right to first base, although it might have stung a little bit on the elbow. Other than that, she wants to get it done for her team. Now runners on first and second with nobody out. The exact situation, the exact way you wanted to start this inning if you're the Badgers.
Certainly we'll see what Michigan's talking about in that mound visit. And the Badgers often pitch run for Blomberg. We get a look at that one right off the elbow guard. That's why they wear it. Michigan, is that officially, it looks like they're making the pitching change?
It looks like Ellis is coming out of the game. Not exactly sure.
Kind of standing in
What's
front of
going
the
on?
dugout right now, but she's taken off her gloves. Oh yeah, so it looks like they're just kind of stalling, and 5 will come into the game now. So for Michigan, that'll be Grayson LaMarche. LaMarche pitched yesterday, so back-to-back days for her. We'll have to see how she fares in a pivotal spot against the Badgers, especially against Kendra Lewis, who she's probably a little mad right now.
Yeah, I mean, only went one. Oh, Kendra Lewis is probably a little bit mad after, you know, what happened on the mound. But LaMarche did go 1 inning yesterday, 2 strikeouts, 0 hits allowed. She closed out the game for Michigan, although they were down big. She did have a good outing, so looking to continue that momentum that she had from yesterday.
Certainly 5 starts on the year, 4 wins, 3 losses, 30 innings pitched. So in this pivotal spot, you can see where Michigan turns to. Grayson LaMarche will come into the game, and up 6, you don't often worry about the lead, but with runners on first and second, you know that every single batter is important because the Badgers can get back into it. These are both really high-powered offenses that are power hitters and just can find ways to score runs, so you don't want to let those pesky Badgers get back into this one when you're up so big.
Yeah, and we saw that with the Badgers putting in a pitcher with first and second, and it can get away from you very quickly. They let up 7 runs in 2 innings. The Badgers looking to then, you know, respond and have 7 runs of their own in these next 3 innings to come back in this one. And this is the moment where, you know, you have to capitalize with runners on first and second.
First pitch misses low, and yeah, this game really turned on its head after the second inning. The Badgers scored 2 runs by playing small ball. Looks like we've got some form of miscommunication between LaMarche, newly coming into the game, and Lily Valamont, the catcher. Could be, looks like some form of gear change regardless of the reason, but then all of a sudden Michigan scores. The Badgers finish the 3rd inning still up 2-1, and then you talked about those 7 runs in 2 innings really flipped the game.
Yeah, and just so quickly, it felt like 20 minutes ago it was a 2-1 game, and now all of a sudden you check the scoreboard and it's 8-2, and the Badgers need to climb back in this one.
And it's going to be quite the climb for them down 6. That one low and away, so 2-0 early in the count here. And if you're Grayson LaMarche, it's difficult to stay in this headspace because you look at right now, you're coming to the game up 6. It doesn't really feel like a hold or a save situation where you've got to be on top of things, but you're currently facing the 3-hitter. She'll take that one to draw the count to 3-0. After this, you've got 4, 5, and 6 coming up with no outs, but that can get out of hand really quickly. I mean, Michigan, they just did it on offense, and they do not want to let it happen to them on defense. 3-1. Didn't look like Lewis loved it, but she's now still ahead in the count.
Yeah, 3-0, you're never swinging at that borderline pitch outside. And like you were saying, it's very easy to, you know, stop fully trying as a pitcher when you're up by 6 runs.
That one will miss, so a 5-pitch walk for Grayson LaMarche. Bases loaded with the cleanup hitter, Olivia Bark, coming up to bat. And an early discussion just coming into the game, Grayson LaMarche, and 1 batter later, a mound visit.
Yeah, first batter being a walk, you don't want her to get too down on herself right away, especially with the bases now loaded. You just jumped into this spot, and now you have bases loaded, nobody outs. Although you are up 6 runs, you can't just take things easy. You want to pitch the contact because you just want these outs because of how many runs you're up.
You do, but you also don't really want to just say, well, just throw strikes and see what happens against Olivia Bark. She's been a great hitter for the Badgers this year. But at some point, you are going to have to try to get these Badgers to roll over a possible double play ball, just anything that prevents those 3 runs from crossing the plate and shortening your lead.
Yeah, 30 RBIs on the year for Bark, 2nd on the Badgers team. So this is exactly who you don't want to face in this situation.
First one, she'll get the call, so she will take the advantage in the count. At first pitch, ever important. Most players often don't swing at it, and so if you can get that first strike, you'll be putting yourself in the advantage. The second one, that one grounded right towards second, tossed to second, not in time for the double play, so a run will cross for the Badgers. Kendra Lewis will head back to the dugout, and Emily Bojan will head back more successful.
Yeah, fielder's choice, scoring a run there. Lucky, or not lucky, but good for the Badgers that it wasn't a double play, because that would really be an inning killer with bases loaded. Only one out now, runners on first and third. Just have to continue putting balls in play, continue making the defense make plays.
Absolutely, Lucy looking to do that here. One very successful at-bat, one much less. That double for Lucy. Some of the Badgers' best contact of the day, looking to do it again. That one grounded down the third baseline, but foul. That third baseman for Michigan, Maddie Erickson, was playing in real tight. She's been burned for that a couple times already this game.
Yeah, she's basically halfway in, basically playing around where the pitcher's mound is.
I mean, you can see right now she's already starting like probably 5 or 6 feet in front of third base, and now she'll charge with the pitch as well. Lucy will take that down 1-2 in the count.
I mean, it has to be a scary position to play. You're so far in with a righty just hitting directly at you. A hard hit ball, and it's just coming directly at your face, and you're around 10, 20, 30 feet away.
If she turns on one, look out. There's the 1-2. Taking was Danny Lucy, and a big backwards K for the Wolverines. No more sacrifice situation. And the Badgers, runners on first and third with one out, can't capitalize. That one just fell in. Lucy knew it immediately. A great pitch from Grayson LaMarche.
Yeah, just drops it right in there. Very good pitch. Looks like it's going to go high out of the zone, and then it just drops right in for a strike and a strikeout looking at that.
Here's Mackenzie Foster, 0 for 2 on the day, but did have that one semi-successful sacrifice.
And if you're the Badgers, you need to score this runner at third.
Yeah,
And
you're down
runner on
5.
First as well. You're down 5. You need more than one run in this inning, especially with how it started.
Well, looks like Foster is going to deliver for that. Gets the single. Runners at first and second. 8-4. The Badgers showing a little fight. Still down big.
Very nice piece of hitting there. That's exactly what you want, driving the runner in. And now still runners on first and second with a chance to top on even more runs in this inning.
Just a great piece of hitting for Foster. Moves Blomberg through the plate, and now coming up to bat is going to be Kaylee Whidden. 1 for 1 on the day. That one misses low. That first at bat for Whidden, a fielder's choice that got her an RBI, and then the second one in hit by pitch. That one taken low. Neither of these threats on the base path, neither of these runners on the base path necessarily threats to steal. Only 3 combined steals on the year and 2 caught stealings.
Whidden only 51 at-bats on the year. This might be one of the biggest one that she does have.
That one taken high, so only her 52nd at-bat, but up 3-0 in the count already. One would assume, again, she's not swinging. Last Sunday, as you can see there, she had her first career home run versus Nebraska, so an exciting moment for her there. The Badgers want another one, but she'll take that one just high. LaMarche won't like it, but the base path now full for the Badgers, and in another high leverage coming up to the plate with a game-tying run. How about that? Is Riley Crane, or... Yeah, it is Riley Crane.
Yeah, and Crane has put together a pretty good game in this one with a sac fly and a walk. Now looking to convert with bases loaded.
Swipes that one foul, her only RBI on the year earlier today with that sac fly in the second. Here's LaMarche. That one will catch the outside part of the plate. So down 0-2 is Riley Crane, and now she's going to have to battle. Because as you said, the Badgers did score that one run, but with bases loaded when you're down 4, coming away with only 2 in this inning would certainly hurt a little bit.
Yeah, especially with only 2 innings remaining. This is a big at-bat here.
That one outside, 1-2.
Got to protect the plate, anything close, try to foul it off or put it in play, but obviously not that one. That was way outside.
LaMarche is thinking strike all the way. Let's see what she's got. That one grounded right back towards her. Will get through. The Badgers score 1, send the second to throw. She is safe. Mackenzie Foster finds her way home, and it is only a 2-run lead for the Wolverines.
And like we were saying, things could turn on its head just like that, and all of a sudden a 4-run inning for the Badgers on that nice single up the middle from Riley Crane. Just a 2-run deficit with runners on first and second as well.
If you're a fan of either team here, the emotions are running high, just swinging back and forth. The Badgers were up big, felt like, well, not necessarily up big, but they were up. It felt like they were in control of the game. Then all of a sudden they lose control of it, down big, and now here they are back in it. Hannah Conger now the leading run, and that one's going to jump off the third baseman's glove. They're going to hold Kaylee Whitten at third, so bases will be loaded. But coming up now should be the top of the order for Bojan, and I believe that means we've batted around in this inning, no?
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe you're right as well. Bojan did lead off the inning, and I mean, just an incredible response from the Badgers after letting up 4 runs in that last inning. It feels like you're down and out of it, 8-2, and now all of a sudden it's bases loaded and you're down by 2 with the 1 hitter up.
Yeah, I mean, I knew these offenses were high-powered. I wouldn't have guessed 11 runs in the last 3 half innings with the bases loaded. Grayson LaMarche has got to come up with something good here.
And on that previous play, just another hard infield bounce that faces now the Wolverines after Wisconsin has struggled with 2 of those earlier in the game. Just bounced right over the third baseman's glove. Just such a hard play to make, especially when the ball is hit that hard.
And remember, these teams are competing in the standings as well. If Michigan wins this one, they would be tied. I'm not entirely sure about the tiebreaker procedure, but I would assume the first thing is head-to-head, which Michigan would then take the lead over the Badgers. If they do win this, if not, the Badgers would take a much more commanding 2-game lead over Michigan in the standings. With such little time left, it looks like we've got a player leaving the dugout. Not sure why, but the gate will stay open, so we'll have a delay. I would assume Michigan isn't necessarily pulling LaMarche quite yet.
And we were saying earlier, Michigan threw 4 pitchers in that game yesterday, and so it's not, you know, the leash is a little bit longer for the pitchers in this game just because of the availability of the other players on the bench.
Well, leash is a little longer, but LaMarche isn't very confident she's staying in the game. Well, yeah, and it looks like they'll signal and taking the ball away from LaMarche. So, coming into the game is going to be Haley Ferguson. An interesting decision with so little pitching depth, but Michigan feels that they need to get this out right here, right now, and Haley Ferguson will do everything she can to send Emily Bojan back to the dugout.
Ferguson also pitched yesterday, 55 pitches, 2.2 innings pitched, and 1 earned run. Did walk 3 players, so the control wasn't fully there for her yesterday. And you can't walk players now. It's bases loaded, so it's hard to be put in this situation.
Yeah, no walks are available, no extra bases for sure. And for Ferguson, you're just coming in and you know exactly what your team needs of you right now. They need 1 batter. That's what's most important. Obviously, they wouldn't likely look to pull her after that one, but the most important thing is this first batter, bases loaded, only up 2 all of a sudden. The Badgers have found themselves right back in this game. The third pitcher of the game for Michigan is Haley Ferguson. So at least 7 pitchers between the last 2 games with only 5 on the roster for Michigan is certainly taxing.
Yeah, I mean, with only 5 pitchers on the roster, going through that many pitchers, you just expect them to play back-to-back games, and it's never easy playing back-to-back games, pitching back-to-back games, especially, you know, she did play 3 innings in that Saturday game. It wasn't like LaMarche where she only pitched 1 inning. She had a real outing on Saturday, and so, you know, having to continue after pitching the day before, especially just being brought in here with bases loaded, is not something that's easy to do.
Absolutely, but Thole feels it's the right decision and what Michigan needs to win this one. So for the Badgers, it feels like every at-bat at this point, I'm saying a high leverage situation for both teams. There have been so many different runners on, but Beaujean takes a ball.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the definition of high leverage. Bases loaded, down by 2 outs. And this is exactly where Beaujean wants to be.
Yeah.
This is where she thrives in these high leverage situations, and we'll see what she can do here.
And she's already scored this inning, was the first run to come across after walking. That one will fall back into the zone. 1-1 the count, a great pitch there. Every pitch for Ferguson will be under high speculation from everyone in the stadium.
Especially with Blomberg up next, you just don't want her getting up in this inning with bases loaded.
That's a great pop there. Hey, Blomberg, certainly someone you're not trying to face ever, but that one will catch the zone, so Beaujean probably won't like it, but 1-2 the count, and she's got a battle now. Here's the payoff, 1-2. That one will miss outside, so 2-2 the count. It's going to be an interesting outing for Haley Ferguson regardless. You're putting her in a situation where none of these runners on base right now would be earned if she gives them up, but she knows how much it would hurt the team. The 2-2. Swung on and fouled back. It looked like Beaujean could have taken that one, but a close pitch, as you say, with 2 strikes, always protecting the plate.
Yeah, you got to protect there. It started a little bit in the zone. A great job to foul that back. It's an easy pitch to swing and miss on, especially, you know, with 2 strikes. That's exactly what you don't want to do, and it was a great job to foul it back and stay alive in this count.
Well, here's the 2-2. That one grounded foul again, right through her own head coach's leg.
And that's one of those pitches we're talking about. You can't really do much with that except for foul it out or foul it off. You can't give the umpire a chance to ring you up on strike 3 there.
Yeah, that would be a brutal pitch to have taken. So Ferguson still working, hasn't even reached the 3-ball mark and is about to throw the 7th pitch of the at-bat. That one is outside, so now they have reached the 3rd ball mark and we will have a full count. So the situation, bases loaded, full count, 2 outs, 2 innings to go, down 2. I mean, this is high pressure for all of these players on the field at this point. There it is, swung on and turned, but foul. Big contact for Beaujean, keeps the at-bat alive.
That was a laser right down the 3rd base line. Unfortunately for Beaujean was foul, but it just feels like every pitch is bigger than the next. More pressure, 3-2 count. This is exactly just exactly where the Badgers want to be here.
Absolutely. If the pattern holds, this will be a ball, and she draws the walk. Instead, swung on and fouled up. That one will go out of play, right into some Michigan fans. So Beaujean continues to battle, and Ferguson, at some point, the mental game will be just getting tougher and tougher. We'll have to see what this 10th pitch of the at-bat holds in store.
Yeah, coming right in, having the 10-pitch at-bat is not exactly the ideal start for Ferguson. Very, very difficult out here.
There it is, outside and takes ball 4. Emily Beaujean does everything she can and works the Badgers within 1 run. Bases loaded still, and guess who's coming up? For the Badgers now, Blomberg's got to take off her catcher's gear as there were 2 outs and she wanted to be ready, but number 23 this will be the 2nd time she's been up this inning, hit by pitch the first time in that Little one-pitch at-bat, and Emily Bojan looks at 4 balls and will take the run batted in.
And we keep saying Blomberg 2 home runs in this series, and no better spot for a potential home run, potential RBI than right now, down by 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. This is exactly where she wants to be and exactly who the Badgers want to have up in this situation.
Well, 0-1 the count. That one swung on over the head of the shortstop. The first run crosses. The Badgers will tie. The second one sent. They are up 9-8. The comeback for the Badgers as of right now is completed. They are winning this game after being down 6 at the start of this inning.
I mean, what an inning from the Badgers here. 7 runs now, just rallying hits after hits after hits. After that 5th inning, we were saying, you know, it's almost insurmountable, this comeback. And now, all of a sudden, they find themselves with the lead.
How much more can you have go on in one softball game? This is now going to be the, let me do some mental math, 12th batter of this inning. 7 have crossed, 2 are on, 2 outs. Kendra Lewis will take the first pitch for a strike, but oh boy, the Badgers have battled back in this one.
Just an unbelievable inning. Lewis did let up those 5 runs pitching, and now she's back on the plate. Like you were saying, she's probably frustrated and looking to help out her team here.
Yeah, took a walk last time she was up in this inning, fouls that one off, so down 0-2.
Ferguson needs to respond here, just attacking the zone, try to get this out.
She's 1 pitch away from kind of getting out of it. Obviously not necessarily successful, but I don't believe any of these runs that she's given up are hers. That one taken just outside, 1-2.
Great take. She really wanted to swing at that one, but disciplined enough to leave it outside.
For Ferguson now, all 14 of her pitches have been pretty intense. We'll have to see what 15 looks like. That one skips away. Emily Bojan holds up. Blomberg, as you saw on your screen there, was pretty far away from second base and had to return. Thought there was a chance Bojan would go home. It didn't end up mattering. 2-2 the count.
Bit of a lucky bounce there. Could have gotten past the catcher, and another run for Wisconsin, but able to contain that.
There it is for the 2-2. That one's fouled off. So again, when these at-bats matter most, the Badgers are making Haley Ferguson do some serious work. Runners on second and third. The count is 2-2, 2 outs. Badgers up 1.
Yeah, not even through 3 batters, already 20 pitches from Ferguson.
Yeah, looks like we'll have time called. Stepping back into the box is Lewis. That one outside, so full count. Just again, it's the highest of high leverage situations. Now you know that no lead is safe. You just came back from down 6. That one fouled. So every single insurance run you can possibly get is more and more important.
Just so impressive, these at-bats that the Badgers are putting together here. Another 3-2 count, more foul balls, especially considering they started this inning down by 6 runs. Just put together a ton of good at-bats, able to start this rally and continue it now.
There's the full count. That one fouled back. Haley Ferguson now waits, finds her pitch. She knows everyone has got to be delivered exactly where she wants it. That one inside and hits her on the wrist. So although it wouldn't have mattered if it was a walk or a hit by pitch, still ending up at first base is Kendra Lewis now for the 2nd time this inning.
Yeah, and it was the 2nd and 3rd inside pitch that could have hit Lewis. The other ones were fouled off, but that one she just lets hit her. Would have been a ball either way and would have been a walk. And so now bases loaded once again for the Badgers in this inning. Another high leverage spot. We keep saying it, but it continues to be these high leverage positions for the Badgers.
Olivia Bark now, again, 40 hits on the air, 31 runs batted in. That one out towards the gap, but having a play on it and making it is Lauren Putz. A long inning for the Michigan Wolverines. Certainly not what they wanted. 7 runs. The Badgers were down 6, and yet after 5, they are up 1. Don't go anywhere on Big Ten Plus.
Hey fans, do you have a softball team age 12 and under? The Badgers invite you to be featured as our Stars of Tomorrow team of the game. Join us for free admission and a unique opportunity to be part of the Badgers pre-game experience. Tickets are limited and are awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Visit uwbadgers.com for more information.
Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. We've got quite the game in store for you. We're just going to look at 1 inning now. The 5th will start with a celebration there from Bojan, and that celebration was sure warranted. Goodness, the Badgers poured it on, scoring 7 in 1/2 inning. The Badgers, a couple of them got to the plate twice batting around, and oh boy, have they flipped this game on its head for what, the 3rd, 4th time now?
Yeah, and just back and forth game for the entire game. First the Badgers go up, then Michigan goes up, then Michigan goes up even more, and then a 7-run inning from the Badgers. Just an incredible fight from this team, and now looking to shut it down these last 2 innings.
Yeah, and if you need it even more interesting, here's the top of the lineup for Michigan. Indiana Langford, Lauren Putz, and Ella Stevenson. All hitting very successfully. 364, 452, and 317 is their current average after today. I should say hitting very successfully, but not necessarily in this game. Those 3 batters are 0 for 6.
Yeah, and then putting Conway as well. They're 0 for 9. 4 hitters, their top 4 hitters just struggling. It's really been the bottom of the order that got them these 8 runs.
I mean, absolutely. Your 4 best and 4 best pretty comfortably have not produced, and yet Michigan has found themselves in a ball game when the other team has scored 9 runs, but that's not how they're thinking about it. I'm sure Michigan's thinking about it more as we were up 6. What on earth happened?
Yeah, it's just important to stay composed, act like you never were up 6, act like it's just a 1-run game. Don't just forget about the lead that was blown. Just have to, focus on the task at hand. Now you're down by 1 with 2 innings left. You need runs.
Yeah, Indiana Langford again, as I've said before, a slap hitter. Interesting, it fully opens up the outside part of the plate, because when she's running towards you, it's really changes your strike zone. That one slapped foul. So if you're Jordan Felchey and you can put one on that outside half of the plate, it's almost impossible to hit, and it should still be a strike since she's running away from that pitch, essentially.
Yeah, that's a good point there. She has been, both of these, or all of these pitchers have been attacking the lefties outside this entire game. That may be, part of the reason why. Now lefty-lefty might change it a little bit.
That one low, just missed. Blomberg tried to frame it back in, couldn't get the call. Count works full. I don't know how many more high-energy, exciting things can I possibly have in this game.
Yeah, it seems every count has been 3-2. Every count has so many foul balls. Both of the hitters, both teams are just working hard.
That 3-2 misses high, so Langford, 9 for 10 on the year in steals, is sitting at first base. Lauren Putz comes up to bat in this one. We'll have to see what the ever-feared hitter can do. 0 for 2 on the day. That one fouled away, so down 0-1 early.
Yeah, and she's leading the team in almost every major stat, down by 1. There's no other person that you want to have
Great pop there as we've got the last series win against Michigan for the Badgers since 1999. These are two conference opponents, and yet it's been 27 years since the Badgers have claimed a series victory. If they can hold on, which who knows with how topsy-turvy nonsense this game has been, the Badgers would claim that and change that, I'm sure, number that is much to the chagrin of every single player on Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Wisconsin 9-48 all time against Michigan. Michigan sort of rolls over them in most of these softball series, but now Wisconsin putting up a big fight in this game, looking, like you said, to make it the first series win since 1999.
And there you go, gets the call on the outside, so Putz is down 1-2. Felci taking her time, making sure she's got the right pitch against a hitter like Lauren Putz, and there it is, fouled back. Count remains.
And Putz is never going to make it easy. Those 1-2 counts, she's not just going to, roll over and die there. She's going to fight and try to foul pitches off and try to take pitches and get work back in the count.
Absolutely, that's part of the reason for her 36 walks on the year and 57 hits. Yeah, a lot can be said for Lauren Putz, but also plenty to be said for Janisa Conway. Not having her best game for sure, but looking at these numbers, she's still got 12 home runs, 7 triples on the year, slugging an impressive .762. That's another batter that, as of right now, Felci would have to face, but striking out is Lauren Putz. What a time for Jordan Felci to get her second K of the game.
Yeah, great pitch there, just blowing it by her in such a big spot. Just misses it under, swings a little bit under, Putz did, and a huge strikeout for Felci to get that first out of the inning.
Well, here comes Ella Stevenson hitting .317 on the year. That one she'll take for the first strike. We'll have to see if Langford decides to take off, or I guess if one of her coaches tells her to or not. An interesting situation of if you can manufacture a runner in scoring position you want to. That one high and inside, dodged by Stevenson.
Yeah, and if it was anyone other than Lauren Putz at bat with 0 outs and runner on first, you'd expect maybe a bunt, maybe a sacrifice, but just that trust in her made it so that there was no sacrifice.
I can promise you're not often asking Lauren Putz to bunt, but that time, unfortunately, it didn't work out, as you said. Now, instead of the runner in scoring position and 1 out, they're just sitting at first still. Langford wouldn't be surprised to see her try to change that. Fouled back up and away, 1-2.
Great response from Felci after, that first hitter getting on base, attacking these 2 and 3 hitters, trying to get out of this inning with no damage done.
I'm sure the Badgers will take whatever pitcher they've got right now that's working. Here's the 1-2, swung on and fouled back and out of play.
Just barely got a piece of that one. Very nice pitch. Definitely would not be able to do anything with that in the field. Nice to foul it off there.
Certainly not one you're making hard contact on. Felci 21 pitches so far in this one. There's number 22, strikeout number 2 of the inning. So Jordan Felci, her 3rd strikeout, I believe that triples Michigan's team strikeout total. A great pitch on the outside part of the plate, and Stevenson just couldn't catch up to it.
Back-to-back great pitches, back-to-back at-bats with great pitches, swing and misses from their 2 and 3 hitters. Just great pitching.
Well, there's contact on the first pitch of the at-bat, but looks like she's safe. Now going to third. Wins frozen with the ball, does not know what's happening. Conway just legged out a single.
Very close play there at first.
Well, we'll
the Badgers might take a look at this.
We'll get a replay here. I don't know if they have any challenges left, but watching it live, sure thought she was safe. Healy will have a discussion with the home plate umpire about it regardless, and they will have a discussion themselves regardless of if she is safe or out. Janisa Conway just fully created a tight play.
Yeah, I mean, to hustle that one out, it looks like it's just an easy ground ball there to first base. To hustle that one out and continue to put that effort to hustle down the line and somehow beat out that single and continue this inning, just a great base running play.
Looks like they said the player's under review. So as I said, the Badgers are out of challenges, but Yvette Healy pleads her case, and an official review is what she will get. So we've got a great look at it here. Ooh, that is closer than I thought on first watch. We'll get it one more time. I could go either way.
I mean, once again, like we saw with the previous challenge, was called safe on the field, so I think that's going to play a big part in this review just because, you know, they always say tie goes to the runner. It looks like it was basically a tie at that base. I just don't think you can overturn the call that the umpire made at first base originally.
Yeah, as I said before, the question is not, is she safe or out? The question now is, do you have conclusive evidence to overturn the call that was made on the field? So your point there is it looked like a tie. If not, it was bang bang. Can you slow it down enough to give yourself conclusive evidence of whether she was out and you can overturn it? I would lean towards no, but you never know what's going to happen in the minds of the umpires.
True, and if she is safe like we expect, just a complete game-changing play made on the base paths. It looks like the Badgers are going to get out of this inning, get out of the top of the order and get through it and go on to the 7th, or we'll go on to the bottom of the 6th, then to the 7th. Just need to hold Michigan one more time. But the base running by Conway just able to beat out that single and continue this inning.
Well, we got the official announcement coming soon. For a defensive update quickly, Kendra Lewis finds her way back in right field. The call stands, so she is safe at first, and Felci has to face yet another batter. Interestingly enough, although that play was so close, I'll bet you if Whitten had looked at third base, she would have had another real close play. The runner is on first and third because Indiana Langford used her speed and found her way to get another base and put herself in an even more advantageous position for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean, there it's hard to even be thinking about that runner on second because you think you have that easy out at first, and then when the runner's called safe, it's hard for you to really get your head back in the game because you're already, basically she was jogging to the dugout because she thought the inning was over, but then runner called safe, it's hard to, you know, adjust after that and try to get the runner out in third. But now a runner in scoring position, well, they would have been in scoring position either way, but now even more of a capitalizable scoring position on third base with first and third down by 1.
Yeah, a long discussion at the mound. We'll see what the Badgers are thinking here with Felci. Again, she'd likely be out of this inning if not for the speed of Janisa Conway just finding her way on base. Since those two early errors for the Badgers, nothing since. I believe it's been 3 innings since either team has had an error, so that's an important thing. Missed plays, errors, runners left on base, always very important stats.
Yeah, true. And, you know, before that batter, 2 straight strikeouts, and then what could have been or what should have been a ground out, except for that amazing base running play. But Felci still is settling in and looks very good on the mound, except for that unfortunate base runner that was allowed.
First pitch taken for a ball. I wouldn't be surprised to see Conway move towards second. I mean, obviously you don't want to get thrown out here, but if you're not thrown out, then you're giving Indiana Langford the opportunity to run home as well, and she just demonstrated her speed. Second pitch of the at-bat, also low, and as I talked about, there she goes, but a heads-up play by Blomberg's got Langford in a rundown. She will get back in time. Ends up as a successful steal for Janisa Conway, but a little bit more stress for everyone involved.
Yeah, and I mean, you really just spoke it into existence. As you can say, just a great play there by Blomberg, able to get the ball to third, just unfortunate, can't catch the runner in that rundown.
Yeah, it's
but would
hard
have
to,
been a great heads-up play.
hard to ever be picky. It looks like Olivia Bark might have gotten rid of that ball a little early, and Indiana Langford, as fast as she is, was able to get back into third safely. This one taken, 2-0 count, now 2-1. That's called a strike. Just caught the inside edge on Lily Valamont. Can't get the second strike, so 3-1 the count now for Jordan Felchi.
It's the second borderline pitch in this at-bat. The crowd wanted a strike, Felchi wanted a strike, but no strike called, now a 3-1 count.
That one swung on and chopped towards right field, diving but not able to make a play is Kendra Lewis, just getting a little dirty. So Kendra Lewis has had quite the game now. She's come in and pitched, did not have a very successful outing, but then reached on a walk both times last inning, and there gave it her all to try and end this one and save Jordan Felchi from having to get this out at the plate.
Wasn't super close to making that play, but the effort is what you're looking for, especially, pitched 1.5 innings, and now you're showing that effort in the outfield. Very impressive.
Absolutely, the full count, the payoff. Swung on, still towards Kendra Lewis, slowing up and making the play. So the Badgers maintain their one-run lead on Michigan. The first time Michigan has not scored since the second inning. An interesting game here as we continue to go back and forth on Big Ten Plus.
Badgers, another Did You Know? Did you know that in 2014, the senior class went down in the history books as the most winningest class in UW history at 144.75? Pitching substitution for Michigan. Now Michigan's number 11, Aaron Haynes.
More access to your team whenever you want, 24/7. More stories, more highlights, more big-time playmakers.
Welcome back into Big Ten Plus. We've got quite the softball matchup for you here. Badgers lead 9-8 through 5.5. The new pitcher for Michigan, Aaron Hayne, I believe also a back-to-back outing for her, pitched yesterday. But for Michigan, so now that'll be what, 4 pitchers in both games? Is that correct?
Yeah. And Haynes struggled a little bit in yesterday's game, only .2 innings pitched, letting up a 3-run home run to Blomberg, or a 2-run home run to Blomberg, I believe, but not able to get out of that first inning. So looking to bounce back here, also had 3 walks. So you want to keep the ball in the zone, especially against the bottom of the order here.
Danny Lucy up to the plate now. First pitch swinging and running out of the way is Hayne. And oh, we've got a collision at first base. We'll have to wait and see. Lucy looks shaken up, as does Maddie Ramey down there. Both players just ran into each other trying to make a play on the ball. Not sure what the official ruling will be, but a scary play nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a very rough collision. The ball was sort of making its way over towards the first base line, so both players were trying to get to the exact same spot and just collided with one another.
I don't know what the call will be. I believe both players were entitled to the ground that they were in. Danny Lucy just right now is the concern, still shaken up, slowly getting up now. So an interesting first pitch of the at-bat, and if it is just a foul ball, she'll have to just return right back into the batter's box. Or we'll see what the call is now. Foster thought that Lucy was called out. A discussion with the umpire. It looks like Yvette Healy certainly is pleading her case, but whatever this was, it was an interesting way to start out this inning. This whole game's kind of been like that to some extent, though. Not too many pitches, just cut and dry.
And I mean, it looked like it was going to be a relatively routine play for the first baseman there, so I wonder if there will be interference called, just because if that collision did not happen, chances are they would have made that play.
It's true. We will see what the discussion is now, an extended conversation. Haynes got to stay loose up there. We're going to show it again. As you can see, Lucy just running toward the base, and then just a full wraparound collision there with Maddie Ramey. It looks like they will call Lucy out, saying she is not entitled to a running path unless it is a thrown ball. And that will start off the inning for Haynes. So Foster's up now with 1 out and nobody on.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of interesting interference calls in this game so far. We saw the first 2 challenged by Wisconsin, unsuccessful, and then this one also did not go the Badgers' way.
Yeah, Healy didn't have any challenges left, as you just said, those 2 unsuccessful challenges. We'll look at Mackenzie Foster, 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI single in the 5th. That RBI single was her 12th of the year. Takes that one low and inside. Count will work to 3-0.
And it feels like everybody on the Badgers got RBI singles somehow, RBIs in some way in that 5th inning, with 7 runs scored by them. Mackenzie Foster, one of them with the RBI single.
Yeah, obviously it's possible. That one she'll take for a strike, works back in. Yeah, we've got, I'm counting 6 different Badgers with an RBI on the game. And for Michigan, it looks like it's going to be 4 different Wolverines. Foster will draw the walk, and so yet again, intrigue and something happening in a runner on base for the Badgers. Up comes Whitten. Whitten is, I believe, there's a chance she's 0 for 0 on the day. She turns on that one to deep left field. It will stay fair. A double at least, and they're sending Foster to the plate. She looks like she'll be in there. The Badgers get their insurance run. 10-8, they enter double digits.
Well, she is no longer 0 for 0 on the day. That ball was crushed, probably one of the hardest hit balls that we have seen in this game. Although it is a 10-8 score, we haven't seen that many balls hit that hard and that far. As you can see, just bounced off the left field wall, able to score the runner all the way from first because of that bounce that it took. And the Badgers take a 2-run lead. Like you said, the insurance run is big, especially because of how hot this Michigan offense has been.
Yeah, I mean, Kaylee Whitten just did exactly what she needed to there. You got a double with the runner on first, brings the runner in, and 10-8 Badgers. We'll look at Riley Crane, who's up to the plate now, had such a big RBI single in the 5th with the bases loaded. Again, hasn't had a ton of opportunities yet this year, but the ones she's had this game, she's made the best of. That one will go foul.
And only 12 at-bats before this game, and it looks like she's just a seasoned veteran in this one with more than that. In this game, already an RBI single, sac fly, and also either a hit by pitch or a walk. I forget exactly which one it was, but she's putting together, and she's having a very good game so far.
Take that one high, 2-1. Takes that one low, and 3-1 the count now. Riley Crane in control. She has leapfrogged her average. She came in on the day hitting 167. Now all of a sudden she's hitting 231. She had 0 runs batted in, and now she's got 3. She takes that one for ball 4.
So she's reached base in 3 out of 4 of her at-bats. One of the at-bats was a sac fly, which is arguably more important than reaching base. You get the run in. And so a very good game for her as the 8 hitter. That's what you're looking to do. Just get on base and help the team any way that you can and get back to those powerful hitters in the top 3.
Absolutely. Here's Conger now. First pitch of the at-bat. She'll get hit, so bases loaded for the Badgers. Only one out now. Haynes got herself in a pickle.
Haynes struggling a little bit like she did in the game yesterday as well. Coming in, not having the best outing that, the one that she would want to have here.
And here comes the head coach for Michigan to talk about it at the very least. That gate in right field is open. Not sure what that means, but I mean, at this point, coaching this team has just got to be so interesting and something Bonnie Toll is not used to, because this is not a Michigan team that has necessarily been great in pitching this year, but no softball team is used to giving up 10 runs and now having the bases loaded. Hayne will stay in the game, but Michigan, they've got 3 more series or games left this year. They play on Tuesday against Toledo at home, then at home against Indiana. That'll be a fun one to see. Then they finish up the road with rival Michigan State in East Lansing. So they've got every game now as a must-win with where they're sitting at the standings, and knowing that not every Big Ten team makes the conference tournament.
Yeah, the top 12 teams make the Big Ten Conference tournament, so those last 2 in-conference series are going to be huge for Michigan, as well as this game is also huge for Michigan, down by 2 coming into the last inning, or well, hopefully for them, down by 2 going into the last inning, trying to limit the bleeding here. But these last series for both of these teams are going to be big in terms of the conference tournament.
Well, Bojan up now for the 3rd time in the last 2 innings. 1 out, bases loaded for Erin Hayne. And Michigan now only has, if you pull Erin Hayne, you've only got 1 option. So, and I believe that 1 option pitched yesterday. That one will be high, 1-1, but as of right now, all you're focused on is, as you said, getting out of this inning only down 2. You have to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, Kat Myers, their next option, the last option for them, did pitch yesterday, started the game yesterday.
That one taken low. 2-1 is the count.
She did struggle though yesterday, allowing 4 runs, so if you do put her in, you have to have confidence that she's going to bounce back after the performance that she put up.
Absolutely. 2-1. Swung on, hit high. Center fielder looks like she'll have a play on it. It drifts on her. She makes the catch. The throw into the shortstop, but the Badgers will have a successful sac fly for Emily Bojan. So they are now up 3 for Michigan. It's not the end of the world. You want to keep it as close as possible, but you got an out, and now there's no runner on 3rd because Crane didn't tag.
Great job by Conway there, shielding the sun. It's getting very sunny here now in Madison, and she was able to cover the sun with her glove and make that play. I got a little nervous for a second there that it was going to drop in.
She definitely moved with that one as well, but no good news for Michigan ever. Up to the plate steps Hillary Blomberg with 2 runners on. Takes that one high. If you put yourself back after the top of the 5th inning, Michigan was up 8-2. The Badgers have now gone on a 9-0 run. There's a Blomberg foul out of play. And they still have 2 runners on base with their best hitter on board. Speaking of their best hitter, most career home runs in program history for the Badgers, and Blomberg's only a junior, only 9 back of the lead. That one's going to be high, 2-1.
Blomberg 1 for 3 on the day. As you can see, 4 hit by pitches for the Badgers today, able to, take those pitches, take one for the team, and that's exactly how they started this comeback.
She'll take that one for strike 2, 2-2. Erin Hayne desperately needs 1 more strike.
Yeah, got to get out of this inning. 1 more inning for Michigan to try to do some damage. And you don't want to be down 4. You don't want to be down 5.
That one fouled back by Blomberg. Impressive catch by Valamont off the net. Doesn't matter, obviously, since the ball is out of play, but Erin Hayne now ready to throw her 24th pitch of the day. That one was high, but Blomberg went after it anyway, caught, And Michigan will get out of the inning, only down 3, so they've still got a chance, especially given the fact that they've scored 3+ in a half inning already twice this game. Badgers lead by 3 on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. The Badgers have put themselves right back in the lead of this game. They've done a great job battling that thanks to Hillary Blomberg. Here's Rachel with more.
Hi guys, you cannot talk about this Wisconsin team without talking about the Wisconsin native, Hillary Blomberg. She obviously came up clutch in that 5th inning for the Badgers. And when talking about her head coach, Yvette Healy said she's quietly becoming one of the best players she's ever seen. And when she told Hillary that, she said, "Coach, that's too much praise." And Coach Healy said one of her strongest superpowers is how even-keeled she is. And Coach Healy also said having her sister Addison on the team this year has made her even more in her element, and we can see that reflect in her play on the field. Guys.
Thank you. We got an offensive substitution for Michigan when it matters most. Kylie Carr back in the game for Fantucci. She'll take the first pitch as a strike.
And Felci has put together a very good outing for the Badgers so far. 1.1 innings pitched, and 3 of her 4 outs have come from strikeouts.
Swung on and missed under that one. Yeah, Felci's brought her ERA down almost an entire half a run just from this one outing. She's certainly been exactly what the Badgers need when they needed it most. 0-2 now. We'll see if she can get one more batter. That one high.
And she has been playing well as of late. The last 2 outings against Nebraska, both allowed 0 runs. One went 3 innings, one went .2 innings. So she's looking to turn around what a couple of bad starts sort of messed up her ERA.
Here's the 1-2. That one outside. Blomberg will catch it. Both catchers have really been stalwarts behind the plate. Not much going on. A couple pass balls, but when you've thrown as many pitches total as this game has, that's to be expected. That one fouled away, so we will remain at 2-2.
And Michigan's going to need some base runners here, down by 3, trying to get back to the top of the order so they could try to do some damage and, you know, maybe retain this lead.
Well, one of the most important numbers in this game right there is that 6 next to Carr's name. You've got to get 1 batter on base, I believe. That one's going to be fouled away if I'm doing my math right. No, you got to get 2 batters on base to get back to the top of the lineup. And for the Badgers, that's exactly what they're looking to prevent. And in this game, as we talked about, everything important in the Big Ten, they got a doubleheader against St. Thomas. That's not conference. But then, their last 2 series of the year, they travel to Minnesota and then take on Rutgers at home to end it out. This one fouled up and out of play.
And both of those series very winnable for Wisconsin. Minnesota and Rutgers both find themselves below Wisconsin in the standings. So, you know, games that you're expecting to win so that you can push yourselves into the top 12, into the Big Ten tournament.
Well, as of right now, Kylie Carr battling. As I said, got to get 2 runners aboard for Michigan to get back to Indiana Langford at the top of the lineup. That one swung on right to center field. There's Danny Lucy to make the play. The Badgers are a third of the way through this last inning.
That one not hit directly into the sun like the other ball to center field was last inning. That was an easy play, not affected by the sun. Ball was hit pretty well, though.
Here's Maddie Erickson up to the plate, 1 for 3 on the day, 219 on the year. Felchey's first pitch, that one swung on and hit. Lucy can't make the play, a great hit. She's coming into second. We've got a play at second, and then just missing the ball is Riley Crane. Oh boy, that would have been close, and it looked like Crane could have had a good chance to get her on that double. Instead, Maddie Erickson stands at second.
I mean, that was a laser by the center fielder there. As you can see, so close to getting her at second. They had a chance just under the glove and really had a chance there. It was a very great throw. Just unable to execute the tag.
Crane, certainly every single thing you're thinking about to the maximum, but as you said, it's a great throw by Danny Lucy out there just to give yourself a chance, and especially recovering after the ball goes right over your head. Here's the other Maddie Ramey, the 8 hitter, 2 for 3 on the day with 2 RBI hits, so she's got 4 RBIs, arguably Michigan's most successful hitter, coming up in a spot where they need her. That one fouled out of play, so count will go to 1-1.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about, it has been the bottom of the order for Michigan in this one. 2 hits for Ramey, and then the 9-hitter as well, also 2 hits. So that's really what has, elevated this team to the 8-run game.
1-1 grounded foul as well. 1-2 now for Felchey. Certainly the Badgers have had pitchers look good. Their starter, Shelby Jacobson, threw 2 innings, looked good, and then she gave up a run and had runners on first and second, and they had to pull her. And Felchey's looked great so far in this 1.2 innings, especially when you've given up 8 runs to the other team. The 1-2, that one towards the first base off Kaylee Whidden's glove, and rounding towards home and scoring is Maddie Erickson. So a bad bounce again for the Badgers results in a run for the Wolverines. 9-11 your score.
Yeah, a lot of infield miscues for the Badgers in this game. I believe that's the 3rd error on them, the 2nd error on the first baseman. It's just not going their way. The bounces have been difficult, but that's a play that you expect to make.
Absolutely, and now, as we've talked about, you are 1 batter away from the top of the order with Indiana Langford. So at the plate right now is Janelle Ilakwa. That one hit towards second, a chance for a double play. Instead, to get away from Crane, and no outs. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines, and they've found themselves right back in it. The possible game-leading run is at the plate.
And like we were saying, once again, these bounces just killing the Badgers here. As you can see, just bounces right over her glove, unable to stick with it and make the play. It's just been unfortunate for the Badgers. 4 or 5 times that's happened in the infield. Just those rough bounces.
Yeah, I have a feeling Felchey's not doing much talking in that gathering of the infielders. We'll take a look at this score. As you can see, rounding the base and getting in comfortably was Maddie Erickson on that one that got away from the first baseman, Kylie Whidden.
And Felchey's still pitching great, able to pitch to contact, getting those ground outs. It's just unfortunate the Badgers are unable to make the plays behind her.
Well, so here's Indiana Langford, runners on first and second. Expect the slap hit. Instead, it's just a regular bunt, foul. So 0-1 the count.
And Felchey does not want to look at who's on deck. Although Putz hasn't had, the type of game that we expect her to have in this one, 0 for 3. With these high leverage situations, you don't want to be facing her down by 2.
Well, there's Langford. This one's in play towards the second, and that time they make the play. So runners on second and third. Indiana Langford does her job and advances the 2. It looks like Michigan might have something to say. Yeah, they're going to challenge that. Head coach Toll has decided why not challenge it. You're in the top of the 7th. You got a challenge left. What's the reason not to? I'm sure we'll get another good look at it.
Yeah, you might as well challenge this one. Although I did think she was out when I was looking at it. With 2 outs, top of the 7th inning, you might as well just do whatever you can to try to get a win. There's no reason the challenges don't carry over to the next game.
Now here is that look. I would say that you are probably not overturning that call, but Langford, in fairness to her, did do everything she possibly could. And as we said, why not use this challenge when you're in this high leverage spot? So if it does stand like we would expect, then runners on 2nd and 3rd, and the possible leading run would in fact be Lauren Putz. If it doesn't, then Lauren Putz would have 1 out and bases loaded, with only needing 2 runs to tie the game.
Yeah, and it was definitely a lot closer than Wisconsin wanted it to be, but I do believe she's out, and so it's going to be 2nd and 3rd with Putz up. All you really need is a ball hits the outfield not too hard so that they have a chance to throw the runner out at 2nd, or throw the runner out coming from 2nd to home. But an RBI or 2 RBI single, and all of a sudden the game's back to being tied. It's really just been back and forth the entire game. And so what other than this situation to end it with?
Looks like we'll get the official announcement coming up here. Again, although we think the conclusion might be a little foregone, this is a huge pivotal call. That is confirmed. She is out at first base and will head back to the dugout. So now Lauren Putz. 0 for 3. You don't look at that and think, wow, they'd rather have, you'd think they'd rather have plenty of other batters up to the plate. Instead, you know that's not true because it's Lauren Putz.
Yeah, I mean, still batting .450 on the year. This is exactly who you don't want up if you're Felci, but she's put together such a good outing that honestly I think her confidence might outweigh the fear that she does have of Putz at the plate.
I would agree. For Lauren Putz, you think she's probably due for one here. Who knows what we've got, and with this game, anything could possibly happen, but the question, I guess, that I haven't even considered is, do you walk her?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that either, and honestly, that's a very good point. Putting her on first, not much of a threat to score, but like we were saying before, it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, but Conway comes up, and then Stevenson and Conway, and it's not the spot that you want to be if you're the Badgers, especially with that mound visit, as I said before. You likely wouldn't have an extended mound visit just to say walk her, so
yeah,
we'll see what Felci has been tasked to do here. First pitch, high and away, 1-0. There's a chance that they decide to barely pitch to Putz. We'll have to wait and see. The 1-0. That one swung on and missed. Right under the ball was Lauren Putz.
Yeah, and if you're Putz, you don't want them to pitch away from you. You want this moment. This is your moment. These are the moments that you really dream of when you are a kid. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. You're down by 2. Your team needs you here, 2 outs.
Absolutely. The 1-1. That one hit high, deep to right field. Lauren Putz takes the lead. Michigan up 12-11 from a 3-run shot. Everything that could go wrong for the Badgers just has, and Michigan back in control of this game.
And like I was saying, these are the exact moments that you dream of as a kid. A go-ahead 3-run home run in an away stadium in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. What a moment for Lauren Putz. Maybe they should have walked her.
Her 17th home run of the year. Her earlier plate appearances were an error, an out, a walk, and then an out again. This time, she puts it over the right field fence and gives her team the lead. It's certainly, for Michigan now, the storybook ending, but the Badgers still have another half inning to play. And Felci has another really good batter in front of her.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for this game? Just back and forth, and then a go-ahead home run with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. It's just been an insane game.
Swinging on the first pitch, caught by Conger, so the Badgers know what they have left in store for them. Down 1, Michigan up 12-11. Jordan Putz, the hero as of right now. Welcome back to Big Ten Plus. We've got a look of that Lauren Putz home run for you again. As of right now, it would be the game-winning run. She did everything she could for her team, an unsuccessful outing until that swing, and yet Michigan leads when they were down 2 coming into that inning.
Yeah, I mean, that was a no-doubter. That ball was absolutely killed. You knew right off the bat that it was going to be way, way out of here. Just such a huge hit. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, looks like Michigan's got their last pitcher up and working in the bullpen. I would assume Haynes got a real short leash. Here's Kendra Lewis up first for the Badgers. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She's got a walk, a fly out, a walk, and a hit by pitch. That one bounces on the plate, 1-1 the count.
And 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Badgers, 1 run. This game is so far from over, especially with what's been going on, just back and forth every single inning. 4 unanswered runs now for Michigan to come back in this one in the top of the 7th.
Yep, 2-1 the count now. Kendra Lewis looking to get on base and give the Badgers the opportunity to answer back as heroes. For the Badgers, you've got 3, 4, 5 coming up in this inning. It's a great spot to be. That one high, 3-1. So now Lewis in control. Again, you're likely to get a pitch to hit here, 3-1. We'll see if she's swinging big on Erin Hain. That one instead is high, and the Badgers have just put the tying runner at first base.
Potential sacrifice situation here for the Badgers, although Olivia Burke not really the person that you want to have sacrificing because of how strong she is at the plate, but a potential move to move the runner over to second here.
Well, I would be shocked if that does happen based on the fact that the Badgers did not elect to shove a pinch runner in there for Kendra Lewis. Now, I don't know how many options they have available anymore, to speak quite frankly, through this 23-run game, but looks like we've got some call. Do we have a pitching change, maybe?
I would assume after the walk, potential pitching change, we see somebody coming on over from the bullpen, I believe.
Well, it looks like, based on the umpire's signal and the stats that I have next to me, Gabby Ellis, the starting pitcher, is going to come back into this game. Ellis on the day, I don't even, 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched? I am puzzled by this move from Bonnie Thole.
Yeah, very interesting to put a pitcher that already pitched in a game back into the game. Not something you see super often. But she did go 4 innings. It's not like she wasn't pitching well. There was some, miscues on the Michigan defense. She didn't let up that many hard hit balls, and so this is the person that you want to come in and close out the game for you.
It's true. She had 87 pitches earlier today. That pitch count, as you can see, currently sitting at 0 because it's her second time in the game. An interesting thing about softball that you're not going to get anywhere else. But she enters the game with a runner on first, one of the Badgers' best hitters up at the plate in Olivia Bark. She's got 39 hits on 117 at-bats this year, certainly. She's got 40 hits because she's got one today. So, looking to make it 41.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Ellis coming back into this game, I'm not exactly sure how the mentality changes, how you look to bounce back. As you see, the pitch count, I believe, changed to 87. It was reset again, so her 88th pitch right now.
The first one to Bark. That one's grounded towards second. Could be a double play ball. They get the out at second, not at first. So now Bark is the runner at first with Danny Lucy coming up to the plate, and one out for Michigan. They are 2 outs away from winning what I would say the most dramatic game of softball I've ever seen in my life would be.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a very special game, and that's exactly what you want if you're Ellis, right in one pitch, 1 out.
Well, Lucy started her day with a double in the second and has been out 3 times since. This time she's swinging on the first pitch as well, fouled out of play. Badgers overall on the day are 8 for 24, Michigan 10 for 33. Both teams hitting above 300. The Badgers have 9 walks. The Wolverines have 4.
The Badgers,
go ahead.
Just able to move the runners over via walks. 9 walks is an insane amount for a game. Only 8 hits, more walks than hits to get runners on base.
That one was low and inside on Lucy, 1-1. This one right back at the pitcher, goes off her. They're going to try to get the out at first, but they do not. So an interesting play finds Danny Lucy on first, and just like that, the Badgers' potential winning run is on the bases.
Very nice bounce, too. Able to get it over to second. Not sure if Coach might potentially challenge this one as well. It looked like it was pretty close.
I don't believe she would have any challenges left, but it looks like her appeal of the officials to get a review will be successful. I'd love to look at that one more time, but Bonnie Toll would like to as well.
It looked very close to me in person. I thought that he might have called her out, but no, she was safe on the field. We'll have to take another look to see exactly what they were seeing.
Well, so it's an umpire-initiated review, but similar to the one for Yvette Healy, Bonnie Thole will have pleaded her case and got them to initiate this review.
Yeah, I mean, if it is runners on first and second, that would be huge for the Badgers. This is a huge challenge. Just both ways, either runners on first and second with 1 out, or the last out is about to step up to the plate, depending on how the challenge
Here's
goes.
another look. We'll slow it down for you there. Looks like she is going to be safe. So this umpire-initiated review will likely be unsuccessful, but you never know. We'll take one more slow look, and that looks like foot on the base before the ball's in the glove.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very close. I believe that she will be safe, and that is inconclusive evidence. Even if she was called out, it would have been safe no matter what.
Absolutely. Now, we will get the official call. Confirmed. So this time it doesn't even stand. They know it to be true. Up to the plate now. We've got a matchup of 22s. Mackenzie Foster is taking on Gabby Ellis. She's got an RBI single already in this game. That would certainly be a great result for the Badgers. The first pitch taken for a strike. In this game so far, 2 ground outs, that single, and a walk where she scored. So 2 runs and an RBI. That one she'll take as well. This time it's outside. 1-1 the count. The 93rd pitch of the day for Gabby Ellis, the 6th of her re-entering. Third pitch of the at-bat. Taken outside again, 2-1. So she's staying away from the inside part of the plate on Mackenzie Foster.
Yeah, in the first couple innings as well against lefties, she was attacking outside, but that led to a few walks if the Wisconsin hitters will be patient and she's not getting the calls to the umpire.
That one is inside, fouled away. 2-2 the count now for Mackenzie Foster. You are certainly just looking to elevate this ball in some way. If you're Michigan and if you're Gabby Ellis, you're pitching something that can get her to roll over and try your best to get out of this game.
Yeah, double play ball obviously is exactly what Ellis is looking for in this situation.
Here's the 2-2. That one grounded back to the pitcher. They've got one all the way to first, but no play there. So nothing changes first and second, but the Wolverines add an out, and coming up to the plate now is Kaylee Whidden.
Very nice play there. That's not an easy play to make as the pitcher, and knowing to turn around and throw that ball to third instead of to first to get the lead runner out. Very nice play.
Well, Whidden is 1 for 1 on the day, except she's been standing at this plate 4 times. In the second, she had a fielder's choice with a ribby, then a hit by pitch. Here's the first pitch taken for a ball. Then in the 5th, she had a walk where she scored, and in the 6th, she had a double with an RBI, and she scored as well. 1-0 the count. That one looks like it's in foul ground. It will go out of play, so 1-1 the count. 3 Wolverines draping over the fence to try to bring that one back in and end the game.
Yeah, the ball just kept slicing right over the fence. There wasn't able for any Michigan players to make that play.
The third pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Looks like Gabby Ellis doesn't like the ball. She'll get a new one. Feels like every pitch of this game has been pressure-filled in some way, shape, or form. We'll see what this one results in. 1-1. Here's Ellis. That one taken for strike 2.
Very nice pitch there, just on the outside corner, almost unhittable unless you somehow slash it to right field, but not the pitch that Whidden is looking for.
The Wolverines now are 1 pitch away. That one outside, taken for ball 2. 2-2 the count, the 100th pitch of the day for Gabby Ellis.
Very nice take there. Looks exactly like the previous pitch that was in there for a strike, but that one just curves a little bit outside. Disciplined take.
That one hits her, so the Badgers will have loaded the bases. The winning run, Mackenzie Foster, will move from first to second.
Second hit by pitch for Whidden in this game. They're just attacking her, I guess. 2 hit by pitches, 1 walk, but doing what she needs to do to help the team.
Coach
hit her right in the hand there.
Coach Thole doesn't like it. Looked like she was gonna maybe go in for the swing. The umpires will discuss. We'll see what they're discussing. Yet again, no coach has had challenges for a while now.
They seem to have been able to pressure the umpires into making the reviews, though, despite not having any challenges. There's been 2 reviews that were not challenged, just the umpires initiated it.
True, it looks like he's getting ready to make an announcement, and here we go. He just said this play is under review, it's umpire initiated. So, didn't even specify what's under review. What is interesting, with that count being 2-2, what I'm sure Coach Thole pleaded for would be calling it that she leaned into it, which would result in a strike and out. We'll look at this one more time, probably pretty slowly, just to confirm.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really try to get out of the way of that ball, but it also looked like she was maybe going for a swing, so it's hard to try to get out the way.
Here's that look. It looks like she's going for the swing and then might pull back a little bit, but in general, this is a judgment call. There is no right or wrong answer necessarily, so we will have to see what the umpires decide on. All 9 Michigan players will gather and discuss.
I mean, it feels like she's just pulling back a swing and then gets hit. It's hard to fully try to get out of the way. I believe it just hit her right on the arm. Wasn't really able to do much to get out of the way there. And it doesn't look like she was going for a full swing.
Out, but this is our 7th review of the game, 4 of which have been coach challenged or coach initiated, however you want to phrase it. The other 3 have not been. We are waiting for the umpires to come back still to make a decision, and Riley Crane is currently waiting to see if she'll even get a chance to take a swing at this ball.
And Crane today with by far the best game of her season, coming in with only 12 at-bats. She now has a 2 RBI single, a sac fly, and 2 walks. So just playing an overall great game. And if she does get up, bases loaded, and down by 1 with 2 outs, she was in this exact same position, bases loaded, earlier in the game and had a 2 RBI single. If she does that again, it will walk off the game and Wisconsin will win.
Well, we'll figure it out real quickly. We've got the official announcement. The call on the field has been changed and they have a 3-2 count. No reason why. An interesting decision by the umpires. I guess they decided that she leaned into it, but not enough to make it a strike and end the game.
Not exactly sure there, but I guess they just called it a ball there, so now it's a 3-2 count.
3-2, coach for Wisconsin making sure to tell all the runners you're going on the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, runners on first and second. Still up to bat is Kaylee Whitten.
And a huge turn of events here. You just got hit, you're on first base, and now all of a sudden it's a 3-2 count, and it's up to you with the game on the line.
Well, here's the payoff, the full count pitch. Hit towards the center field, deep, going back at the wall, it's gone! A 3-run shot. The Badgers and Kaylee Whitten walk it off. 14-12 is your final score after that review that was overturned. She's glad it did.
1 3-run home run in the top of the 7th, another walk-off 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th. Everything that you love about softball was in this game, and Wisconsin walks it off. 14-12 victory over Michigan, back and forth, and just sneaks over the center field wall. What a game, what a hit.
Kaylee Whitten, when the Badgers needed it most, when most people would leave that at bat because she was on first already, had to come back and delivered a 3-run walk-off home run to give the Badgers a 2-game lead over Michigan in the standings. They win the series against the Wolverines for the first time since 1999, all because of a hit by Kaylee Whitten and just gutsy play from both teams, back and forth. Every single chance this game had for one team to pull away and be over, it just wasn't.
Yeah, 26 combined runs, 20 combined hits, and despite 4 errors from the Badgers, they were able to pull out this victory. Just an amazing game, back and forth the entire time. At some point, you thought there was no chance Wisconsin was going to win. Then there was no chance Michigan was going to win. And then all of a sudden, Wisconsin hits a walk-off 3-run home run. Just what a game.
Yeah, it was everything anyone could have ever asked for. 20 hits, 26 runs. The Badgers, the 4 errors, obviously did not help, but in the end, it does not cost them the victory. For Michigan, what an up-and-down ride. Feeling like they had won the game, being up by 6 runs, and the Badgers come back and take it. Then the 3-run shot by Putz gives them the lead. They're going into the 7th. 2 outs, runners on first and second, full count, and Kaylee Whitten walks off the game for the Badgers.
Yeah, 2nd home run of the year for Kaylee Whitten, and it couldn't have come in a more important time. Only the 2nd home run, and all of a sudden it's a 3-run home run to win the game against one of your softball rivals. Just an incredible moment for her.
It absolutely is, and it's a rival in a different way. If it's not because it's so close going back and forth, it's a rivalry because of how many times in a row you've been beat. We'll take a look at the unbelievable amount of plays that happened in this game. Just every possible play did. So many challenges, reviews, hits, walks, errors, everything going on. A couple of good shots from Michigan kept them in this game. Some big hits from the Badgers kept them in it as well. For the Badgers, they come out of this one with a 2-run victory. Not often you see both teams, I've never seen it, have more runs than hits. And just in general, what a game. We have been very lucky to call it. We've had a great crew. Thank you so much to everyone. For Caleb Goldstein, I've been Nathan Yan. In Madison, Wisconsin, the Badgers walk it off with Kaylee Whitten's 3-run shot.